Chapter 539. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by small? We will provide you with wonderful novels to read. After the team was reorganized, Knight Sorrow appointed 2 vice-captains. One was Xueling, and the other was Hou Jian. In addition, Knight Sorrow let Nan Liue be in charge of the team's resources. She was also the team's resource manager. Baidu search, AI Go female sign Xiao, say, www.aichuxs.com. Back then, my granduncle said that we might be competitors in the Eastern Xian region, but outside of the Eastern Xian region, we are brothers who fight side by side. I didn't expect that we would reach this step so quickly. Hou Jian looked at Knight Sorrow and said with some emotion, "Everyone is a fighting team. Let's not talk about the past. In the future, there will be no distinction between each other, no background, and only brothers." Knight Sorrow said. "Okay, you guys reorganize yourselves." Wu Lingfei said. "We need a more domineering name. To be honest, it's really troublesome to fight in 2 teams. Although we don't want to, we still have to distinguish between each other in our hearts. It's so boring." Lei Zheng said. Love Gob Small say, "Chew." So Auntie Fei saw this point and asked us to reorganize. As for the name, everyone can slowly think about it. Now, everyone go drink a bowl of hot soup and prepare for battle. This is going to be a tough battle. Knight Sorrow said. Knight Sorrow went to the big pot and took a bowl of hot soup from Nan Liue. In a while, the fire under the city wall will be extinguished. We still have to continue fighting. This battle will last for a long time. Don't extinguish the fire here. Kill the rare demon beasts and we will continue to roast and stew them. Knight Sorrow said as he drank the soup. "Hey buddy. We are fighting so hard. Tell your boss to send some good wine." Lei Bao shouted at a city guard not far away. "I will definitely report." The city guard nodded and turned to leave. "Liue, here are the clear void pill, detoxification pill, and high-grade crystals. There are also some mid-grade crystals. If everyone needs them, you can distribute them." Knight Sorrow threw a storage belt to Nan Liue. Love Gob Small say, "Chu caret X equals standard H version E head hair T, I, Nan Liue. Swear that I will never be greedy for any of the team's resources. Otherwise, I will be struck by lightning." Nan Liue took the storage ring and swore before anyone could react. "Nan Liue, what are you doing? We're all brothers and sisters. Captain's arrangement is also out of trust. Do you have to do this?" Hou Jian said somewhat angrily. Knight Sorrow's expression wasn't very good either because Nan Liue had the intention to avoid arousing suspicion. "Captain, I'm sorry. I was impulsive." Seeing that Knight Sorrow's expression wasn't good, Nan Liue knew that her behavior was a little inappropriate. "I've said it before, brothers can be each other's back. Is there anyone who doesn't believe me?" Knight Sorrow said. "But Captain, isn't this your personal resource?" Nan Liue thought of the key question. "Don't worry, it doesn't matter how many resources we have as long as we have enough. I'll leave this matter to you. If there's a shortage, look for me." Knight Sorrow nodded to Nan Liue. Everyone drank some meat soup and then began to prepare for the upcoming battle. This time, the division of labor was more clear. Xueling led half of the troops to defend the city wall while Hou Jian led the other half to fill in the gaps. After that, they would be responsible for covering the sky. After the flames were extinguished, the demonic beasts continued to attack. However, the demonic beasts that climbed the city wall were all below the 5th rank. They did not pose much of a threat to the troops guarding the city wall. After all, there were not many 5th-rank demonic beasts. 5th-rank cultivators were rare experts. A few years ago, the highest cultivation base in the Medicine Valley was only at the peak void inquiry stage. It was the same in the world of demonic beasts. It was not easy to reach the 5th rank. In addition, the 3-legged ape king and the 2-headed flood dragon king would not send their 5th-rank demonic beasts to their deaths continuously. The demonic beasts that were sent to their deaths were those that did not have much potential to develop. After a few waves of battle, dawn arrived. After daybreak, the supplies from the unbounded desolation region arrived. Some resources were distributed to the troops guarding the city. Everyone was risking their lives to defend Thousand Desolation City and fight for the unbounded desolation region. Of course, the unbounded desolation region would not be stingy. They had also distributed some spirit stones to everyone. Not bad. It's better than nothing, Nan Liu said. After receiving the resources, everyone handed them to Nan Liu. Haha. Our general manager is also very rich now, Ho Jian said. After that, someone sent a storage belt to them. It was filled with fine wine. Haha. The wine came at the right time. These 2 golden cows will be ready to be eaten in a while. Lei Bao, who was roasting the golden cows, suddenly shouted. Dawn had arrived. Even though the human cultivators did not have any fuel to light the fire and the demonic beasts had retreated, they still needed to rest. Ho Jian, Xueling Liu, the resources that the unbounded desolation region sent to us just now belong to everyone. It's not very appropriate to store them in the team's storage, Night Sorrow said. Let's discuss it slowly and come up with a more appropriate team rule, Ho Jian said. Then you guys can discuss it later. Night Sorrow nodded. He did not want to get involved in these matters. It was fine as long as it was fair. After that, Lei Bao called for everyone to eat. Night Sorrow once again made some food and brought it into the tent. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu also brought wine into the tent. In a team, friendship is one thing, but we still need to have a system for resources. After all, everyone needs it, Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow nodded. He knew the importance of this. Once fairness was lost in a team, it would easily lead to conflicts. Even if it was not a psychological problem, it would still cause negative emotions. Such negative emotions were fatal hidden dangers in a team. After eating, Xueling arranged for people to be on guard while the others began to meditate. After a high-intensity battle, it was easiest to improve one's cultivation base. Night Sorrow took the black tortoise crystal and sat on the black ice jade to cultivate. As his compatibility with Xiao Kong improved, the energy that Xiao Kong provided to Night Sorrow also increased. At present, it was almost the same as the energy that Night Sorrow absorbed on the 60th floor of the Time and Space Treasure Pagoda. In other words, as long as Night Sorrow could refine it, the energy would be endless. The monsters were very stable. There was no movement until noon. At this time, Night Sorrow also stopped cultivating. He was still a little worried that the monsters were so quiet. He was worried that they were up to something. There is nothing to worry about. This is a war of attrition and protracted. In the eyes of the Monster Kings, even if the monsters are eliminated, their deaths will be worth it. The monster's combat power is not as good during the day as it is at night. In addition, fighting at night will cause more damage to the human cultivators. The psychological pressure will also be greater, Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Becoming a God with All Tao, first release. No subscription required. Fans who want to read it first can come to the Cool Craftsman Reading Group, 332448350. In other words, the battle will still be carried out at night? Night Sorrow asked. That should be the case. The team you led didn't suffer any casualties, so they didn't feel anything. The surrounding defense areas have endured the battle last night, and at least 1/3 of them have died. It's a huge consumption. Actually, it's a success for the demon beasts. Some of the demon beasts that were about to be eliminated managed to kill the elites of the human cultivators. It's a profit for them, Wu Lingfei said. Including the cities that they destroyed a while ago, they have profited greatly from this beast tide. Night Sorrow frowned. Chapter 540. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. That's the situation after Auntie Faye arrives. If she doesn't, the realm of unbounded desolation will be in big trouble. It won't be a matter of consumption, but a matter of falling into enemy hands, Night Sorrow said. Actually, Aunt Faye can stop the flood, but that's against the will of the heavens, Wu Lingfei explained. If she killed the 3-legged ape king and the 2-headed WYRM king, the problem of the beast tide would be solved. However, the beast tide was in accordance with the laws of nature. If she interfered, she would be tainted with unnecessary karma. People have to experience things to grow, even though it's a little cruel. Otherwise, if we live too comfortably, we won't be able to resist when the demon beasts take over the realm of unbounded desolation, Night Sorrow said. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Wu Lingfei nodded. Yes, that's the truth. Living in troubled times makes one's combat strength and adaptability stronger. Living too comfortably isn't a good thing. Wu Lingfei nodded. She admired Night Sorrow's ability to understand things. There were some things that Night Sorrow could understand without her saying them. After chatting for a while, Wu Lingfei went back to meditate. She had come out to communicate with Night Sorrow and help him improve his experience and endurance. As the sun set, the battle resumed. After a day of gathering, the number of demon beasts had increased, and the degree of the impact had increased. After the battle began, Night Sorrow walked along the city wall to prevent the large demon beasts from attacking. After all, the city wall was the key to the survival of the realm of unbounded desolation. Once the city wall collapsed, it would be a serious problem. At that time, a huge number of demon beasts would charge straight into the city. Not to mention their combat strength, just their numbers alone could kill people. This Heaven's Extremity envoy is indeed powerful, Qingmang said as she walked up to Wu Lingfei with a team of supplies. They're a bit younger. They just need to gain more experience. That's why I brought them out this time, Wu Lingfei said. Qingmang nodded. She knew that it was a coincidence that Wu Lingfei had come to the realm of unbounded desolation to bring Night Sorrow to the realm of unbounded desolation, which made Qingmang very glad. After all, if Wu Lingfei hadn't come, the realm of unbounded desolation would have fallen into the enemy's hands. After killing the large demonic beasts that could threaten the city wall, Night Sorrow once again returned to the city wall. Night Sorrow's original position was blocked by Lei Bao. He took a few steps back, drank a few mouthfuls of wine, and observed the overall situation. Love, go little, say, Chu. After looking at the situation, Night Sorrow was very relieved. Without a venerable opponent, it would be very difficult to deal fatal damage to a group of people. Night Sorrow's group's defense was impregnable. However, the other areas were not the same. Miserable cries of cultivators could be heard from time to time. Everyone, be careful. Also, those in charge of air patrol, don't be careless. Pay attention to the situation at all times, Night Sorrow said, and then sat down to meditate and recover. This was Night Sorrow's strategy. As long as there was an opportunity, everyone had to seize the opportunity to recover. They had to maintain as high a level of combat strength as possible. Once Yi Shang had recovered, he went to take the place of the others. With Night Sorrow's participation, the pressure on everyone was greatly reduced. This was because Night Sorrow's sky-piercing spear, which was tied with the tendons of the five-clawed pterosaur, was extremely powerful. As long as a demonic beast appeared around him, it would be shot to death. Every once in a while, a guard would pour oil down the city wall to buy time for everyone. While everyone was resting, they saw the city guards continuously carrying corpses down the city wall. Their hearts were greatly shaken. There were too many people who had died, and they couldn't bear to look at it. However, there were still other cultivators who took their places. Some people knew that they would die, but they still fought bravely and did not retreat. This was the power of faith and protection. Because once the Thousand Desolation City fell, their families would face the threat of the demonic beasts. It could even be said that they would die an unnatural death. The night passed, and the battle stopped when the sun rose. At this time, the city wall was almost dyed red with blood. There were traces of the demonic beasts that rushed up, and there were also traces of the rank 5 demonic beasts that flew up and were killed. How is everyone? After the battle stopped, Night Sorrow looked at the group of people and asked. Very good, there are no problems. Everyone bowed and said, That's good. Your own safety comes first. Night Sorrow reminded the group of people. Next, the human cultivators endured for 2 days. In the end, there were countless casualties. However, they also killed half of the demonic beasts. The main reason was that the demonic beasts had paid a huge price when climbing the city wall. The upper echelons of the human camp gathered together for a meeting to discuss how to deal with the next problem. Hu Xiao and Qing Mang invited Wu Lingfei to join, but Wu Lingfei was not interested in this meeting. She was here to take care of Night Sorrow. Killing the 5-clawed pterosaur was just a matter of convenience. The 5-clawed pterosaur's luck was quite bad. She did not plan to care about other things. In the end, the result of the discussion was a counterattack. The human cultivators would take the initiative to attack and disrupt the demonic beast's formation. This way, the demonic beasts would not be able to attack in an orderly manner, and the threat would be reduced by a lot. Then this order was passed down. When they heard the drums, they would rush down the city wall and fight with the demonic beasts. When they heard the gong, they would immediately retreat. Night Sorrow and the others were also notified. Night Sorrow, do you have any questions? If you do, then Aunt Fei can say hello. We are here to help. There is no need to fight to the death. Wu Lingfei asked. No problem. Everyone will maintain their fighting strength. If we really can't hold on, we will retreat. Night Sorrow nodded. As long as you know what to do, no one can force you to do anything. Wu Lingfei said. She was reminding Night Sorrow that if he did not want to fight, then he did not have to. Auntie Fei, that silver-winged eagle king won't come over. I was going to capture it and give it to Auntie Fei, but this guy won't give me the chance, Yishan said as he looked at the silver-winged eagle king flying back and forth in the sky. It also depends on fate. It can't be helped if it doesn't come. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. When the human cultivators were almost ready, Qing Mang also gave the order for a full-scale counterattack. Night Sorrow asked Nan Liue to bring Ho Qingjie, Qin Zhen, and a few others to the city wall to provide support. Then, he led the people down the city wall and rushed towards the demonic beasts. Night Sorrow did this because he did not want Ho Qingjie and Qin Zhen to take the risk. After all, the two of them had not officially entered the 5th rank. If they were surrounded and could not fly out, then it would be a big problem. After fighting with the demonic beasts, Night Sorrow waved his reincarnation spear. Every strike was fatal. No demonic beasts could withstand it. Second brother, we have suffered a big loss this time. On the mountain behind the demonic beasts, the 3-legged ape king and the 2-headed flood dragon king were talking. Chapter 541. A Genius Remembers Love in 1 Second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. There's nothing we can do about it. We can only say that Big Brother's luck is bad. The 3-legged ape king's voice was very loud, and there was a hint of nostalgia in his voice. After that person appeared, victory was no longer on our side. There's no point in using force. Big Brother, you're just being stubborn. I didn't want to start a war in the first place. This is also the reason why I didn't come in the first place, the 2-headed Wyrm king said. The 3-legged ape king looked off into the distance in the direction of the 1,000 Desolation City, a yearning look in his eyes as he said, This is your destiny, Big Brother. Like we said before, we only need to maintain half of the territory in the realm of unbounded desolation. If we want to unify the realm of unbounded desolation, the human cultivators from the other 8 realms will definitely interfere. Alright, third brother, this is our fortune. The other party didn't intend to be ruthless. Otherwise it would really be like that saying. If we don't grasp the opportunity, bad things will happen, the 2-headed Wyrm king said. Now that Big Brother has been killed, how are we going to explain it to that person? There was a hint of trembling in his voice. If one were to observe carefully, they would realize that it was fear. What do you need from us? He was the one who started the war with the humans. We couldn't stop him. It was killed by a human saint. If you want to take revenge, go find a human saint. There was some dissatisfaction in the 2-headed dragon's words. Second brother, do you still remember what happened back then? The 3-legged ape king asked the 2-headed Wyrm king. I'll never forget that even without that inheritance, I still managed to cultivate to the peak of the venerable realm. Third brother, just watch from here. Second brother had returned. As for the outcome of the beast tide, there was no need to care about it. So what if they managed to take down this city? In the end, they'll still be slowly taken back by the humans. Without an advantage in terms of peak combat power, it's meaningless. The 2-headed Wyrm king flashed and left after saying that. He didn't care about this battle at all. The 3-legged ape king looked in the direction the 2-headed Wyrm king left and then at the 1,000 Desolation City. He knew that the 2-headed Wyrm king was right. Even if they took down the 1,000 Desolation City, the humans would still push it back. The 2-headed flood dragon king's judgment was very accurate. The 3-legged ape king was very clear about this. After knowing the 2-headed flood dragon for thousands of years, he knew the 2-headed flood dragon king very well. If the 5-clawed pterosaur hadn't obtained an opportunity, the 2-headed flood dragon king's achievements wouldn't be lower than his. Yishan led his men to kill for a while. After killing for more than an hour, the sound of a gong came from the top of the city wall. Seeing that the brothers behind him had retreated, Knight Sorrow rushed back to the city wall. "Thank you." Knight Sorrow took the bowl of soup and said, "We should thank you, Captain. When we charge, Captain is at the front. When we retreat, Captain is at the back. We will remember this." Nan Liu said, "Hee, let's not talk about this. If the demonic beasts don't charge, we will cut the meat and drink." Knight Sorrow said with a smile. It was daytime now, so the demonic beasts generally didn't charge. The demonic beasts really didn't charge. The human camp's counterattack just now had caused them a lot of damage. Since the demonic beasts didn't charge, Knight Sorrow and the others began to eat and drink. They began to eat heartily. This is the life a man should live. Licking the blood on the blade, eating meat in big mouthfuls, and drinking wine in big mouthfuls. Lei Bao chewed on the barbecued meat while waving his hand and shouting, "Why don't I want to listen to your words? What's wrong with women? Ninth senior sister, is it because Chuyu's fighting strength is not enough?" Nan Liu glared at Lei Bao. "Ninth senior sister, big sister Chuyu, that's not what I meant. Nan Liu, if you have something to say, just say it. What's the point of talking nonsense?" Lei Bao glared at Nan Liu and said, "You're the one who said it, not me," Nan Liu said as she ate. "All right, let's talk about the name of our team." Knight Sorrow interrupted Lei Bao and Nan Liu's bickering. "Captain, whatever you say, it's the name." Ho Jian said, "If we want to make a name for ourselves in the Eastern Xian region, we have to kill everyone in our way. God-slaying team. What do you think?" Knight Sorrow looked at the group and asked, "Kill everyone in our way. Kill everyone in our way. Kill everyone in our way. Kill everyone in our way." The 30 people in front of Knight Sorrow waved their arms. Knight Sorrow's aura infected everyone and everyone shouted. "One day, the name of the God-slaying team will resound throughout this world." Knight Sorrow nodded and made a promise. "This name is a little big, but Aunt Fei believes that you can carry it." Wu Lingfei came in front of Knight Sorrow and said, "Aunt Fei, we won't lose the face of the Eastern Xian region." Knight Sorrow said, "When you said the name of the God-slaying team, some karma already existed. Some things have already become fixed." Wu Lingfei said, "Aunt Fei, is it that serious?" Knight Sorrow looked at Wu Lingfei with some surprise. "Let's not talk about this. It seems that this beast tide will be like this. It shouldn't be able to cause any big waves." Wu Lingfei looked at the city wall and said, "The overall situation is like this, but if we want to end it, we still have to pay a big price." Knight Sorrow said, "The demonic beast's aura had been suppressed, but there were still many of them. Demonic beasts weren't afraid of death. Even if they died, if there was a chance, they would still take a bite out of you. Victory always comes with a price. Only those who pay a price are worth cherishing." Wu Lingfei nodded. At this time, Knight Sorrow looked outside the city wall. The silver-winged eagle king was circling a little close to the city wall. From time to time, it would let out a piercing cry. This was because the members of the God-slaying team were training the newly captured silver-winged eagles. Ho Qingjie and the others were still sitting on the back of the silver-winged eagle king, circling above the city wall. This made the silver-winged eagle king very angry. His own kind had been captured and tamed. This made the silver-winged eagle king feel that the dignity of his race had been trampled on. At this time, Tianyu flapped his wings and rose into the sky. The others could ignore the silver-winged eagle king's clamor, but he couldn't stand it. "What's going on?" Yang Lei looked at the sky with some surprise. At this time, Tianyu and the silver-winged eagle king were fighting in the sky between the Thousand Desolation City and the demonic beast camp. Tianyu can't stand it. The silver-winged eagle king's attitude is to fight. Knight Sorrow said, "I'll go help Tianyu kill it." Yang Lei released her dark-feathered eagle and was about to join the battle. "Don't go. This is a battle of kings in the sky. Let Tianyu deal with it himself. Although his cultivation isn't as good as his opponent's, it doesn't mean his combat strength is higher." Wu Lingfei stopped Yang Lei. "But Tianyu will be injured." Yang Lei said, "Which king doesn't have corpses strewn all over their path? So what if he's injured? The glory of a king must be fought for." Wu Lingfei shook her head. Chapter 542. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I will provide you with interesting novels to read. Wu Lingfei shook her head at Night Sorrow. Of course, she knew what Night Sorrow was thinking about. However, why would she care about that? Love, go little say, Chu. At this moment, Tianyu and the silver-winged Eagle King were fighting fiercely. Both of them were flying in the sky. Their wings and claws were filled with wind blades and astral chi, slashing at each other. If they are at the same level, the silver-winged Eagle King won't be able to fight against Tianyu. Night Sorrow said. Currently, Tianyu was at the 4th level of the Void Inquiry stage while the silver-winged Eagle King was at the 8th level. There was a difference of 4 levels between them. Even so, Tianyu was not at a disadvantage. Of course. Their innate talents are completely different. Besides, Tianyu is fighting with only one attribute and he is hiding his true strength. Let's watch quietly first. Wu Lingfei said. Tianyu and the silver-winged Eagle King were circling in the sky and attacking each other. However, the probability of them hitting each other was not high because both of them were demonic beasts that specialized in speed. Even though Night Sorrow was a little anxious, he could only endure it. He had always wanted to capture the silver-winged Eagle King, but he had never thought of letting Tianyu fight on his own. The battle continued. Both of them were extremely fast. They were flying back and forth in the sky, leaving afterimages behind. If this continues, Night Sorrow's mount will be the first to run out of energy. Qing Mang, who was walking towards them, said. Tianyu still has a backup plan. Wu Lingfei turned her head to look at Qing Mang and said. At this moment, the battle between the kings of the flying beasts in the sky had already become the focus of everyone's attention. Even the demonic beasts were watching because the silver-winged Eagle King was the leader of the flying demonic beasts in the sky. At this moment, Tianyu, who was flying above the silver-winged Eagle King, let out a cry. An energy shadow that was as big as his body appeared. Then, the energy shadow seemed to travel through space and directly hit the silver-winged Eagle King's body. With a muffled sound, the protective chi shield on the silver-winged Eagle King's body was shattered. At the same time, its feathers were blown away. What kind of ultimate skill is this? Qing Mang's eyes were filled with shock because Tianyu's move was extremely heaven-defying, directly injuring the silver-winged Eagle King who was still at his peak. Qing Mang was not the only one who was shocked. Hu Xiao and the people from the City Lord's mansion who were watching the battle from other positions on the city wall were also shocked. What was even more shocking was that Heavenly Feather screeched again. She used Void Jump and appeared behind the silver-winged Eagle King. Her sharp claws dug into the back of the silver-winged Eagle King's spine. Her green-gold beak stabbed towards the back of the silver-winged Eagle King's head, which was raised up in pain. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs. Calm Tianyu, don't kill him. I want him alive. Night Sorrow shouted anxiously when he saw that Tianyu was going to kill him. Hearing Night Sorrow's words, Tianyu's sharp beak changed its attack path and bit the silver-winged Eagle King's neck. Then, he flew towards the city wall. After landing on the city wall, Tianyu pressed the silver-winged Eagle King on the ground. Night Sorrow went over and directly asked the silver-winged Eagle King whether it submitted or not. If it refused, he would let Tianyu kill it. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs. What answered Night Sorrow was the silver-winged Eagle King's angry screeches. Even when Tianyu twisted its neck with force, it did not submit. After cultivating to the 8th Void Inquiry stage and commanding flying demonic beasts for a long time, the silver-winged Eagle King already had the aura of a superior being. How could it submit easily? After a long time, the silver-winged Eagle King's body was covered in blood, but it still refused to submit. Aunt Fei, I want to subdue it and give it to you, but it won't work. This fellow just won't submit. I can only cook it into soup. Night Sorrow said helplessly as he came to Wu Lingfei. You can't subdue it? Ask Tianyu to stand up. Aunt Fei will give it a try. Wu Lingfei came to the front of the silver-winged Eagle King. As Night Sorrow communicated with the silver-winged Eagle King, Tianyu, who was covered in blood, jumped down from the Eagle King's back. Tianyu pulled out his sharp claws and the silver-winged Eagle King let out a miserable shriek. Wu Lingfei waved her left hand and a faint green energy fell on the silver-winged Eagle King's body. Along with this energy, the Eagle King's injuries began to heal in front of everyone's eyes. Wu Lingfei looked at the silver-winged Eagle King. Her eyes flashed and her soul force and aura force rushed towards the Eagle King. As Wu Lingfei released her soul force, the silver-winged Eagle King's body trembled. Even Tianyu, who was further away, hid behind Night Sorrow. His eyes were filled with shock. Under the impact of the soul force, Wu Lingfei spoke. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. Submit, or I will continue to hand you over to them. Hearing Wu Lingfei's words, the silver-winged Eagle King's head stuck to the ground, expressing its submission. The silver-winged Eagle King was just an ordinary demon beast with good talent. What was Wu Lingfei's true body? The Ice Phoenix race. That was a true king of the birds. The two couldn't be compared. Wu Lingfei hid and suppressed her aura so that no one could detect anything. But when she released her aura, the silver-winged Eagle King couldn't resist and could only submit. Night Sorrow, give Aunt Fei a beast-taming crystal. Wu Lingfei called out to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took out a beast-taming crystal and gave it to Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei continued to heal the silver-winged Eagle King and fed it some medicine before putting it into the beast-taming crystal. Night Sorrow, Aunt Fei thanks you. This is a good means of transportation. Wu Lingfei nodded to Night Sorrow. Aunt Fei, why are you thanking me? It's not like I can control it. Night Sorrow said with a slightly embarrassed tone. Without you commanding Tianyu and thinking for Aunt Fei, how could I possibly subdue it? Wu Lingfei said with a smile. Wu Lingfei had a mount in the past, but she had set it free a long time ago. It was mainly because the level of the mount was too low. Now, the silver-winged Eagle King, which was at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage, was a very good means of transportation unless there was an emergency. Senior Sister Wu, the silver-winged Eagle King still has potential. It has the chance to advance to the Venerable Realm. Qing Mang said. Junior Sister Qing Mang, that one has unlimited potential. It is only at the 4th grade of the Void Inquiry stage, but it almost killed the silver-winged Eagle King, which was at the 8th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. What kind of effect is that? Wu Lingfei pointed at Tianyu, who was standing behind Night Sorrow and looking at Wu Lingfei. If junior brother is not mistaken, it has the bloodline of the Qing Peng. Not only does it have the bloodline of the Qing Peng but also the bloodline of the Xianluan? After carefully observing Tianyu, Qing Mang said. It's like this. This guy's current comprehension of his cultivation base is very deep and he hasn't reached adulthood yet. There won't be any problem for him to advance to the Venerable Realm in the future. Wu Lingfei said. Look at +++T version, a chapter N, above section L square root, mighty. Truly mighty. By the way, the elders of the Tianji Tower branch in our region of unbounded desolation want to see Senior Sister. Do you want to meet them? Qing Mang asked. He wanted to hear Wu Lingfei's opinion on these matters. That's fine too. After this beast-tide is over, I will bring Night Sorrow and the others to Great Desolation City for a walk. Wu Lingfei said. After nodding, Qing Mang left. Chapter 543. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? I will provide you with wonderful novels to read. Why forever free? CFO look little J say #1inch captain. If we capture more silver-winged eagles and bring them back to exchange for more resources, we will definitely be able to obtain more resources. Love, Gob little say. Chunen Liu said in a money-grubbing manner. In terms of resources, the unbounded desolation region is indeed abundant. Let's not talk about the human territory in the eastern part of the region. The western part is almost uninhabited and the demon beasts do not know how to refine pills or refine weapons. Therefore, the resources there are indeed more abundant. However, human cultivators will only have a slim chance of survival if they go there. Wu Lingfei said. Indeed. There are all kinds of demon beasts there. Even venerated realm experts can't go there. There are demon beast kings there. Night Sorrow said with a sigh. Yes. Of course, risks also mean rewards. In the 9 regions and 18 prefectures, each region has its own territory. If humans want to invade their territory, it will be a life and death struggle. Therefore, we must control everything to a certain extent. Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow and the others. After resting comfortably for a day, the sun set in the west and the battle resumed. However, the power of the beast-tide was not as strong as before. Their aerial attacks were slightly reduced. The silver-winged Eagle King, the commander of the flying demonic beasts, was captured, causing the flying demonic beasts to lose their scale of attack. They were all running around randomly and could not withstand the attacks from the crossbows on the city walls. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs. Since they only guarded the city walls, the threat was not great. Night Sorrow was still the same as before. He walked around the city walls and specifically killed the demonic beasts that posed a threat to the city walls. With the soaring dragon steps as his foundation, Night Sorrow's agility was very high. He would not be surrounded and attacked by a group of demonic beasts. Moreover, the current Night Sorrow was completely different from the time when he was in Broken Cloud Mountain in the Eastern Profound region. His combat power was completely different. Currently, Night Sorrow's cultivation base was at the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage. In addition to the cultivation base of the 10,000 Dao Scripture and the innate bloodline ability of Space Split, it was very difficult for cultivators and demonic beasts below the Venerable Realm to pose a threat to Night Sorrow. After killing all the large demon beasts, Night Sorrow returned to the city wall to rest. While Night Sorrow was fighting, Tianyu and Silver Fox were not idle either. Tianyu specialized in hunting flying beasts in the air. He even brought back the corpses to make food for everyone. He knew that Night Sorrow had this hobby. Silver Fox was fighting on the slope of the city wall. Its speed was extremely fast. The monsters that were rushing towards the city wall could not pose a threat to Silver Fox when their feet were unstable. Silver Fox's sharp claws and tail attack were very sharp. The tail attack was no different from a sharp blade attack. Time slipped away bit by bit. Fortunately, the attacks of the demonic beasts were not sharp, so there was no danger. Because the 1,000 Desolation City did not have much kerosene reserves, they could only ignite it once every 6 hours. The main reason was that the consumption of kerosene in the past few days was too great. The city walls of the 1,000 Desolation City were so long, and to keep burning at the bottom of the city walls, the consumption of kerosene was extremely shocking. Fortunately, we were ruthless in the past few days, so the demonic beasts did not have much energy left. Otherwise, if you told me that there was not enough kerosene, I would have cursed you. When they were resting again, Lei Bao said as he watched the guards of the city lord's mansion ignite the kerosene. Sir, the previous beast tides were not so fierce. Even the two combined were not as fierce as this one, so we used too much kerosene. The guard said embarrassedly. Lei Bao, what are you scolding them for? Don't you feel ashamed? They haven't rested for the past few days and have been sending us supplies and wine. It's not easy. Nan Liu said. I'm not scolding them, I'm just complaining. Brother, I'm very sorry. Lei Bao cupped his hands and apologized to the guard. He was a person who could accept when things went wrong. If he felt that he was in the wrong, then he would admit his mistake, even if the other party was only a low-level cultivator at the peak of Element Gathering Realm. Sir, you're too serious. I know that Sir has no ill intentions. The guard said in a panic. In the world of cultivators, it was very rare for high-level cultivators to apologize to low-level cultivators. It was even rare for them to speak in a low voice. All right, then tell your leader later to prepare more good wine for us. We've never asked you to replenish your manpower. It's not too much to ask for some wine, Lei Bao said to the guard. Many thanks to the lords of the Eastern Xian region for coming to help. The wine is here. At this time, a commander of the city guard army came and handed 2 storage belts to Lei Bao. Nan Liu also threw 2 empty storage belts to the commander of the city guard army. Although no one cared about a few storage belts, it was still inappropriate for them to only take in and not take out. Moreover, the members of the god-slaying team would definitely not take advantage of others. After the commander of the city guard army left, Hu Shao brought the higher-ups of the city lord's mansion of Great Desolation City and the city lord of 1,000 Desolation City over. First of all, they expressed their gratitude to Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei's killing of the 5-clawed pterosaur had sealed the victory. Based on the current situation, the beast tide wouldn't be able to break through the defenses of 1,000 Desolation City. You don't need to be so polite with me. The stability of this section of the city wall is the result of their hard work. Wu Lingfei pointed at Night Sorrow and the others. The youngsters of the Eastern Xian region are amazing. Not to mention anything else, just these youngsters alone will be terrifying when they grow up, especially their captain, Hu Shao said as he looked at Night Sorrow and the others. You're too kind, City Lord Hu Shao. I, Night Sorrow, am not worthy of your praise. Night Sorrow cupped his hands towards Hu Xiao. Night Sorrow. That's a good name. I admire you. In the future, when you come to the realm of unbounded desolation, you must find me for a drink in Great Desolation City. Hu Xiao nodded at Night Sorrow. Normally speaking, venerables disdain to associate with cultivators below the venerable realm. Everyone below the venerable realm was like an ant. They weren't even on the same level, let alone a peak venerable like Hu Xiao. He valued Night Sorrow because he felt that Night Sorrow's potential was astonishing. Afterwards, Hu Xiao and the others went to patrol other areas. Night Sorrow and the God-slaying squad hadn't suffered any casualties, but too many people had died in other areas, so Hu Xiao had to arrange compensation. Since they had died fighting for the realm of unbounded desolation, the realm of unbounded desolation had to help clean up the aftermath. They couldn't let the dead bleed and the living cry. After checking his belt of holding, Lei Bao said, "They're quite generous this time. They gave us a lot of wine." Night Sorrow looked out of Thousand Desolation City and said, "The result of the Beast Tide's attack is quite tragic. If we have time, let's go to the depths of the Grand Desolation City and kill some of them." "Captain," Nanliu said, "the realm of unbounded desolation doesn't rank high among the 9 realms, but it's the largest. Half of the land occupied by the Beast Tide is as large as one of the other realms. It's very dangerous inside. If we dare to go in without permission, there's an 80 to 90% chance that we won't be able to come back. I'm just thinking about it. I didn't say I'd go there right away." Even though Night Sorrow was curious, he wouldn't risk everyone's lives. "Now that we're strong enough, there's no harm in going there," Wu Lingfei said. "The world is so big. There's nowhere we can't go." The rest of the battle went on uneventfully. Because they didn't have enough kerosene, each wave of battle lasted for a long time. Night Sorrow divided everyone into 2 groups. One group guarded the city walls, while the other group rested, ate, and drank before changing shifts. Since the situation wasn't urgent, Night Sorrow didn't participate in the battle. Instead, he watched the overall situation and chatted with Wu Lingfei. Looking at Night Sorrow, Wu Lingfei said, "You've gained a lot in the realm of unbounded desolation this time." Chapter 544. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Human cultivators who had mounts were all very outstanding. Cultivators without mounts could be found everywhere. For example, during the battle between Medicine Valley and Nanyang City's Tai family, many rank 4 disciples were sent out. Most of them did not have mounts. Even if they had mounts, rank 2 and rank 3 were already very good. Rank 4 mounts were something that many people did not even dare to think about. Now, all the God-slaying team members' mounts were rank 4. As they grew, it was possible for them to reach the peak of rank 4. The silver-winged eagle was a rank 4 flying beast. However, if it grew well, it had the possibility of reaching rank 5. The silver-winged eagle king was an example. This was the harvest of mounts. It was something that everyone had gained. Night Sorrow's greatest harvest was the 3 desolate stones. Those were resources that could strengthen the power of desolates in his body. They were very rare resources. Night Sorrow had talked with Wu Lingfei before. He knew that the power of desolates was the ultimate attribute of the time attribute. It could accelerate time and cause life to age instantly. The power of this attack was very terrifying. A few days ago, when he was free, Night Sorrow tried it out. He found that he could absorb the power of desolates from the desolate stones. This made him very excited. The power of desolates in Night Sorrow's body was very pure. However, the amount was small. It could be used to attack, but it could not be integrated into the myriad Dao treasured book's energy. If the amount was accumulated to a certain extent, then Night Sorrow could convert all the energy of the myriad Dao treasured book into power of desolates. Then, he could use the power of desolates to strengthen his body. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs. So the battle went on peacefully for 3 days. The few remaining beasts retreated. This also marked the end of the beast tide. On the city walls of Thousand Desolation City, there were earth-shattering shouts. Everyone had fought hard and finally protected their home. At Hu Zhao's invitation, Wu Lingfei took Night Sorrow and the God-slaying squad to Grand Desolation City via the teleportation portal. When they arrived at Great Desolation City, Qing Mang led the god-slaying squad to the Tianji Tower branch to rest. Wu Lingfei took Knight Sorrow to the City Lord Manor for a walk. After all, Hu Xiao had invited them, and it would be inappropriate to refuse. Love, Go Little, say, Ku Hu Xiao represented the City Lord's mansion and gave Wu Lingfei a box of Dao Comprehension tea. He also gave Knight Sorrow 3 ice attribute crystals. When Knight Sorrow fought, he used the ice attribute. In addition, Hu Xiao promised that if anything happened to the Eastern Xian realm, the realm of unbounded desolation would definitely help. He also invited Knight Sorrow to visit the realm of unbounded desolation whenever he had time. Knight Sorrow didn't have much strength now, but Hu Xiao knew that Knight Sorrow would definitely rise. Afterward, Wuling concubine brought Yi Shang to the Extreme Celestial Tower branch. At this time, in the backyard of the Extreme Celestial Tower branch, the members of the god-slaying team were drinking tea and chatting. After a few days of intense battle, everyone needed to relax. At this moment, Qing Mang came over and invited Wu Lingfei to the Tianji Tower's conference room. At this moment, the higher-ups of Tianjin Tower were all waiting for Wu Lingfei's arrival in the conference room of the Tianji Tower branch. Wu Lingfei nodded at Knight Sorrow, and the two of them put on their masks. Qing Mang already knew Knight Sorrow's identity. Wu Lingfei had always been wearing a veil. This time, she just changed it. When Wu Lingfei and Knight Sorrow arrived at the Tianji Tower's conference room, the Vice Palace Master, elders, and guardians all bowed respectfully. Love, Go Little, say, Ku Wu Lingfei asked about the current situation and whether the Heaven Terminus branch in the realm of unbounded desolation needed any help. Wu Lingfei felt that the battered realm of unbounded desolation was a good opportunity for the Tianji Tower to develop rapidly and help the realm of unbounded desolation recover. Finally, she invited Qing Mang to visit the headquarters when she had time. After that, Wu Lingfei told Qing Mang to issue a mission to purchase the desolate stones that others couldn't use even though they were precious treasures. She could use life crystals, soul crystals, or origin elixir as payment. The mission would be effective for a long time. Even though Qing Mang didn't know why Wu Lingfei was interested in the desolate stones, she knew that she would do as she was told. Even though I'm the Vice Palace Master of the Tianji Tower branch in the realm of unbounded desolation, I'm also the Vice Palace Master. If something happens to the Heaven Terminus branch in the realm of unbounded desolation, I won't sit by and do nothing. If anything happens, let me know. By the way, this is Knight Sorrow. If he comes to the realm of unbounded desolation in the future, I hope you'll support him. We'll definitely support Knight Heaven Terminus, Qing Mang and the others said. After briefly communicating with the higher-ups of the Heaven Terminus branch in the realm of unbounded desolation, Wu Lingfei and Knight Sorrow returned to the backyard of the Tianji Tower, where Qing Mang had arranged for them to rest. Wu Lingfei released the silver-winged Eagle King, examined its injuries, and treated it. With the help of Wu Lingfei's life energy, the silver-winged Eagle King could fully recover from its injuries. If it were anyone else, it would only be partially disabled. Tianyu pounced on the silver-winged Eagle King, his sharp claws penetrating its back and damaging its bones and essence. After sending the silver-winged Eagle King away to rest, Wu Lingfei took a glance at Tianyu and said, Tianyu's claws are really heavy. I think it'll take him some time to recover. Knight Sorrow reached out and touched Tianyu's neck. Tianyu's strengths are his strength and speed. He's very lethal in close combat. Wu Lingfei nodded and said, This guy is very smart. He pretended to be weak from the beginning, and then went for the kill after numbing his opponent. He's smart and resourceful. She had a feeling that ever since she had used her soul pressure on Tianyu that day, Tianyu had become somewhat afraid of her. After resting for 2 days, the group of people left the realm of unbounded desolation. It could be said that this trip had been very fruitful. The teleportation portals in the realm of unbounded desolation were relatively advanced. After arriving at South Soaring City, they were teleported to North Blue City in the realm of Taiyue, and then to Five People's City. After reaching Wui City, they could no longer teleport, so they released their mounts to fly. Because the silver-winged Eagle King was still recuperating, Wu Lingfei and Knight Sorrow rode the Tianyu. Their mounts were all Tier 4, so their speed was much faster. It only took them 4 days to reach East Park City. When they arrived at East Park City, concubine Wu Lingfei brought everyone to an inn. The continuous journey had been very tiring for everyone. *V. After entering the inn, Wu Lingfei said, You're really something. I didn't expect you to extend your reach here. What's the situation with Auntie Fei? Night Sorrow asked. There are people from the GU clan from the realm of Qingtian guarding the teleportation portals, Wu Lingfei said. They practice special cultivation methods, so Auntie Fei can sense them. People from the Eastern Xian realm have to pass through East Smoke City and East Park City to come out, Xikong Chuyu said. That's why they're keeping an eye on us. We'll be discovered as soon as we come out. Wu Lingfei pondered for a moment before saying, Wait for me. After exiting the inn, Wu Lingfei's body flickered and disappeared from everyone's sight. Is Auntie Fei going to find them? Is she going to attack them? Yang Lei asked. I don't think so, Xikong Chuyu said. She's probably going to give them a warning. She won't attack them directly. You don't understand Auntie Fei, Night Sorrow said. Auntie Fei is very patient with the people around her, but she won't tolerate her opponents and enemies. Those people are probably dead by now. Chapter 545. Geniuses remember love in 1 second? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Auntie Fei, didn't we agree that you wouldn't participate in the war? Is this okay? Night Sorrow asked worriedly. Auntie Fei, you didn't go to the Qingtian region to kill people, right? The strong have their dignity. Some trash dared to provoke them. They must be tired of living. Gu Haitian is unhappy, so he came to fight. Last time it was a draw. Let's try again this time. Wu Lingfei's words were full of fighting spirit and confidence. Auntie Fei, are you sure? Night Sorrow asked. Wu Lingfei nodded to Xikong Chuyu, who was handing her a cup of tea, and said to Night Sorrow, Even if we can't kill him, we will make him retreat. Last time, he was only slightly stronger than me. At that time, I had just advanced and was not familiar with the power of laws. The situation now is different. Then let's kill him directly to prevent future trouble, Night Sorrow said. Why are you in such a hurry? He has been a saint for a long time, so there is not much room for improvement. However, Auntie Fei is different. What Auntie Fei needs is time. The longer you drag it out, the more advantageous it will be for Auntie Fei. In addition, Auntie Fei feels that something is not right. It is impossible for Gu Haitian to be the only saint in this world. If he was the only one, the Qingtian region would have already swallowed the other regions. Auntie Fei, do you mean that there are many saints in the 9 regions world? Night Sorrow asked in shock. It is possible. The possibility of Taiyue region and Sanyuan region having saints is not high. However, it is hard to say for the other regions. According to the habits of Gu's family and Gu Haitian's overbearing character, if there were no other saints to restrain them, they would have already spread their influence everywhere, Wu Lingfei said. Because of the potential saints, Gu Haitian and Gu's family do not dare to act recklessly? Night Sorrow understood what Wu Lingfei meant. Aunt Fei thinks so too. The 9-domain world has existed for a long time. It's understandable that there are saints. Of course, they won't come out unless the world is turned upside down, Wu Lingfei said. It's better to be cautious. This water is too deep, Xikong Chuyu said, because Wu Lingfei's analysis was very reasonable. Auntie Fei, how long does a saint have? Night Sorrow asked. If one doesn't have any talent and comprehends an ordinary attribute, then one will have a lifespan of 3,000 years. However, this is not accurate. Who doesn't have a fortuitous encounter to be able to cultivate to the saint level? Who knew how many heavenly treasures he had consumed? Furthermore, a person who was able to cultivate to the saint level would definitely not have a low talent. Love, go little, say, W. Chu Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow nodded. Such a situation did not make Night Sorrow feel any pressure. Instead, his heart was filled with the motivation to become a powerhouse. After resting for a night in Dongyuan City, the group teleported to Dongyan City. After arriving at Dongyan City, Night Sorrow and the others started a massacre under Wu Lingfei's guidance. They killed all the spies from the Qingtian domain who were waiting around the teleportation array. After dealing with the spies from the Qingtian domain, Wu Lingfei told Kuan Nan, who was in charge of the affairs of Dongyan City, that as long as the people from the Qingtian domain came to the Taiyue domain, they would kill them. The Eastern Xian domain was not afraid of any war. After that, Wu Lingfei led the group back to Linhai City and teleported to Dongxian City. Wu Lingfei asked Night Sorrow to take everyone back to rest. She still had some things to deal with. Night Sorrow nodded and led the group back to Qingxin Cottage. He knew that Wu Lingfei, as the city lord and the branch master of Tianji Tower, had a lot of things to do. After returning to Qingxin Cottage, Night Sorrow told Aunt Feng to prepare more food. Then, he and the two girls went to the backyard. 13. The harvest this time is pretty good, said Sikong Chuyu. We got a lot of mounts this time. Senior brother and senior sister can change their mounts, said Night Sorrow. They will be very happy. The disciples of Taishan Peak are going to be shocked again. Now, it can be said that our Taishan Peak is the signature of Medicine Valley. 13. You are the signature of the signature, said Yang Lei. You too must be tired. Rest when you need, said Night Sorrow to the two girls. Yeah. I haven't bathed in so many days. I'm going to take a bath first. Night Sorrow, you should also take a bath and relax, said Sikong Chuyu to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow smiled and nodded. Then, he went back to his room to take a bath. These days, he was either rushing or fighting hard. He really needed to relax. Chapter I9A2II. After taking a bath and changing into a clean robe, Night Sorrow went to the hall to drink tea. He wanted to cultivate, but he knew that his current life was different from his previous life. He had to consider the feelings of the two girls. The two girls didn't need a blockhead who only knew how to cultivate. Night Sorrow had just sat down when the two girls finished washing and came to the hall. 13. We know that you are anxious to improve your strength, but you don't have to rush. Take it slow. Your state of mind is also very important, said Yang Lei to Night Sorrow. They had been together for a long time. Yang Lei knew Night Sorrow very well. I know. Some things can't be rushed. Just take it slow, said Night Sorrow with a smile. Sikong Chuyu took out a tea set and brewed a pot of tea. After the storm, we should be able to stabilize for a while. Originally, I thought that we would make a trip to Yunwu Mountain this time. But now, it seems that we are still lacking a little. We can't let Auntie Fei protect us every time we go out. Without her, our ability to protect ourselves is still lacking, said Night Sorrow. There's no rush. I wrote a letter to grandfather. My parents also know about my situation. So there's no rush at all, said Sikong Chuyu with a smile. Then, let's go back to the Medicine Valley in a few days. Then we can cultivate in peace. We can talk about other things later. I originally planned to go to the Taiqing domain, but I can't do it now, said Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow had always wanted to go to the Night Moon Dynasty's original location to take a look. But now, his own safety was a problem. He couldn't go at all. There's nothing to be anxious about. We have plenty of resources, so all we have to do is cultivate diligently. Yishang, you have a way to cultivate mental energy, so it won't take you too long to reach the Exalt Realm, said Yang Lei. Night Sorrow nodded. Then, he released Tianyu and Silver Fox to let them play. Now, Tianyu and Silver Fox were rapidly improving their cultivation. It was also time for them to increase their spiritual intelligence. Seeing Night Sorrow do this, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu also released their mounts. However, they knew that no matter how they trained their mounts, they would be different from Night Sorrow's Tianyu and Silver Fox. Both the Dark Feathered Eagle and the Fire Phoenix were tamed. Because of fear, and submission to others, their souls had a flaw. This was a hard injury that affected their future. However, Tianyu and Silver Fox were different. They had communicated with Night Sorrow when they were very young. They didn't have any innate flaws. In other words, their development wouldn't be limited because they had a master. We know that Tianyu is outstanding, but we really didn't expect Silver Fox to be so outstanding, said Sikong Chuyu. Chapter 546. Geniuses remember love in 1 second divided by small? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Night Sorrow then told them about Silver Fox's situation. He also told them to keep it a secret because the nine-tailed fox's bloodline was a serious problem. Once it was leaked, it would cause a huge commotion. For the next few days, everyone rested quietly. Night Sorrow would chat with the members of the God-slaying squad when he had nothing to do. These few days, everyone was familiarizing themselves with their new mounts. After a good rest, Night Sorrow brought the two girls back to Medicine Valley through the teleportation portal. Looking at the bustling Danding city, Night Sorrow felt much better. In terms of prosperity, Danding City was still far from Dongxian City. However, compared to first-class cities like Thunder City and Star Cloud City, it was not only not weaker, but also had the potential to surpass them. This was due to the special characteristics of Medicine Valley. Medicine Valley's foundation was based on cultivation, with alchemy as a supplement. With the help of alchemy and alchemy techniques, many cultivators were willing to come to this area. When cultivators obtained materials, they could exchange them for alchemy pills in Danding City. They could also pay someone to refine them. Businessmen also saw business opportunities here. Reselling alchemy pills and alchemy resources was much better than other businesses. Look at the RK. Chapter Plus section. 0v. Looking at the golden flame palace that was emitting a gentle light, Night Sorrow stood in front of the palace for a while. Then, he brought the two girls and flew towards the Longquan courtyard. In the Longquan courtyard, Night Sorrow saw Aoi and some of the Medicine Valley's third-generation disciples. Aoi's disciples had increased by a lot. Night Sorrow did not stay in Medicine Valley for the past few years because he did not know the situation. After the rise of Medicine Valley, more and more cultivators joined the sect every year. Many of them came for the Taishan Peak. Seeing Night Sorrow and the other two, Aoi, who was holding a rattan in her left hand and a teacup in her right hand, was stunned. Then, she put down the things in her hand and hugged Night Sorrow, who was walking in front of them. 6 Senior Sister, I missed you, Night Sorrow said with a smile. Senior Sister misses all of you too. 13. You're much taller than 6 Senior Sister. Now that you've really grown up, all of you come over here. This is your 9th martial aunt and also an elder of our Medicine Valley. Qingji called out to her disciples and introduced them while pointing at Yang Lei. Disciple greets 9th martial aunt. These 50 to 60 young disciples all bowed to Yang Lei. This is the person you want to meet. He's your 13th uncle and also our Medicine Valley's deputy valley master, Yi Shang. Love, go little, Sabe say, Kuaoi introduced Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow was the pride of Taishan Peak and was also the pride of Aoi. Greetings, deputy valley master. The disciples all bowed. Some of them stole glances at Night Sorrow from time to time because Night Sorrow was only 2 years older than them. Don't call me Deputy Valley Master. Just call me Martial Uncle. Night Sorrow waved his arm and used his true chi to help the disciples up. You have to set 13th Martial Uncle as your goal. Your 13th Martial Uncle has only been in the sect for 4 years. But now, practically everyone in Eastern Xian region knows his name. You can also call him Martial Uncle. Just call him Martial Uncle Sikong. Qingji looked at the disciples and introduced Sikong Chuyu to them. Senior Sister, what's your cultivation level now? Aoi's eldest disciple, Shen Rong, stepped forward and asked. Why are you asking this? Night Sorrow asked with a smile. He really did not want to talk about this topic because it might be a blow to some of the new disciples. Senior Sister, when we entered the sect together, I was ranked 3rd while you were ranked 13th. 4 years have passed. I want to know what's your current cultivation level. Shen Rong asked persistently. He had been working very hard and was about to enter the mid-core formation realm. Don't ask this question. Yang Lei said. She knew Night Sorrow's worries. It's all right. If you can't even bear this little bit of pressure, you won't be qualified to become a disciple of Taishan Peak. Most importantly, I also want to know your current cultivation level. Aoi said with a smile. Master, you can't see Senior Sister 13's cultivation level? Shen Rong looked at Aoi in surprise and then at Night Sorrow. He knew Aoi's cultivation level. Currently, Aoi was already at the peak spirit severing realm. Some time ago, 13 entered the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage. He's not far from the late Void Inquiry stage. Yang Lei said. As Yang Lei reported Night Sorrow's cultivation level, Aoi looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. The other 3rd-generation disciples all gasped. Don't compare yourself with your senior sister 13. Not to mention the Eastern Profound region, there is only one Night Sorrow in the 9 regions and 18 prefectures. Yang Lei said. Senior sister, I came back to give you a gift. See if you like it. Night Sorrow took out a beast-taming crystal and handed it to Aoi. A mount? Then I want to see it. If it's like a tiger eagle, I won't want it even if it has strong combat power and high cultivation level. Aoi said and communicated with the beast-taming crystal. Then, she released the silver-winged eagle. A level 4 level 6 silver-winged eagle. It's practical and beautiful. I'll take it. Aoi said with a smile. It's fine as long as you like it. Then, let's go to the Taishan Peak and give the other senior brothers their mounts. This time, I've caught a few more silver-winged eagles. They're for senior brothers and sisters. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Third senior brother has also returned some time ago. Something happened in Golden Flame City. He even used the teleportation formation in our pill tripod city. Aoi said. There are some big movements over there. Night Sorrow said. He knew about the second base of the Tianji Tower. The Heaven Vault Mountain was located between Golden Flame City and Pill Tripod City. The second base of the Tianji Tower was a big event for the Tianji Tower. The transportation there must be very developed. Therefore, it was natural for teleportation formations to lead to all places. Aoi said something to her disciples. Then, she and Night Sorrow rode on their mounts and flew towards Pill Tripod Peak. This mount is amazing. It's really fast. It's much faster than the Green Eagle. Aoi was very satisfied with the speed of the silver-winged eagle. The group went straight to the bamboo grove. Aoi arranged for the servant disciples of the Taishan Peak to inform the other senior brothers. Then, she brought Night Sorrow to the wine cellar and filled some wine for him. 6th senior sister. You still have a lot of wine here. Night Sorrow said. I have a hobby of making wine. Plus, all the senior brothers like this. I make some whenever I'm free. Aoi said with a smile. Night Sorrow had an idea, but he didn't know how to say it. He had the dragon root of the 5-clawed pterosaur. It was good for making wine and replenishing blood. However, he was good at making pills but not wine. 13. What's wrong? If it's not enough, you can fill some more. Aoi looked at Night Sorrow. She thought that Night Sorrow felt that it was too little. It's not like that. Let's be honest. I have something that I need your help with. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Why are you hesitating? Aoi said with a smile. Chapter 547. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with interesting novels to read. Ah, what is this? Aoi blushed. Although she did not recognize what it was, she could roughly recognize it from its shape. It's the dragon root of a 5-clawed winged dragon. My Aunt Fei said that if I brew it into a medicinal wine, it will be beneficial for my body cultivation. Night Sorrow said. I see. Then I'll go look for Gu Dian and study it to see how to brew it with the best effect. Don't worry. You can take it away after it's done. Aoi said after keeping the dragon root. Then, the two of them went out of the cellar and went to the pavilion. At this moment, Gong Xian and the others had already arrived and were drinking tea. 13. Every time I see you, you shock me to death. You're already at the 6th grade of the Void Inquiry stage. You're really amazing. Gong Xian sized up Night Sorrow and said, Hee hee. I've brought some mounts for my senior brothers. If you don't have any problems, you can change your mounts. Night Sorrow directly took out 10 beast-taming crystals and placed them on the tea table. What kind of mounts are these? However, 13's products must be excellent. Let's give it a try. Wuxia smiled and took out a beast-taming crystal. Then, he used his spirit power to make it recognize its owner. Next, he released the silver-winged eagle. A 4th grade silver-winged eagle. This is good. It won't be a problem for it to reach the peak of the 4th grade in the future. Wuxia looked at the silver-winged eagle that was flapping its wings and said with satisfaction. The silver-winged eagles here are all of different grades. If you're lucky, you can get a high-grade one. Night Sorrow reached out his hand and pushed the beast-taming crystal in front of him. Every time I come back I have good luck. I shouldn't say that. I should say that with 13 good junior brothers, my luck will come. Huanan said. He originally planned to leave for Golden Flame City tomorrow. Today, he would be able to catch up with Night Sorrow to deliver the mounts. Even if 3rd senior brother isn't at the Taishan Peak, I will also find someone to help bring the mounts there. Night Sorrow said. After everyone was done, Night Sorrow found that he had a task. Because Mo Chen had brought Chu Lingfei along, Night Sorrow took out 10 pieces, just enough for his senior brothers. I didn't count. It's not enough. Night Sorrow took out another beast taming crystal and gave it to Chu Lingfei. That's not appropriate. Chu Lingfei shook her head. Take it. Night Sorrow took the beast taming crystal and handed it to Chu Lingfei. Thank you, 13th junior brother. Mo Chen was a little embarrassed. Every time he brought Chu Lingfei to a party, he had to take advantage of Night Sorrow. Love, go little, say, normally speaking, Night Sorrow was a resource for his senior brother and senior sister. Chu Lingfei had nothing to do with it, but he couldn't just leave Chu Ling behind. The two of them were like-minded husband and wife, and had always gone through thick and thin together. 11th senior brother. There's no point in saying that. It's just a matter of catching an extra mount. It's nothing. Night Sorrow certainly knew what Mo Chen was thinking. Don't think too much. The biggest advantage of us Taishan Peak disciples is that we are united. Resources and mounts are not a problem. Yang Lei patted Mo Chen's shoulder and said, My luck is the best. I'm at the 8th level of the spirit severing stage. Guan Yi, who had released his mount to study it, said with a laugh. 12th senior brother, your luck is also very good, Night Sorrow said with a smile. EA edition premier $. The servants set up the banquet. Everyone was present, so drinking was no problem. While drinking, everyone asked about Night Sorrow's situation and understood the general situation outside. After listening to Night Sorrow talk about the battle of the sacred experts, everyone sighed. They thought that battles between venerables were rarely seen in the past, let alone battles between sacred experts. 13. The Great Elder and the Supreme Elder reminded me when I went to Taiwei Domain some time ago that you should come back and visit Pilding Cliff when you have time. Gong Xian said. I'll go there when I reach the peak of the Void Inquiry stage. Night Sorrow did not want to go there now. If it was in the past, Night Sorrow might care about it and miss the 8-Dragon Cauldron very much. However, now that he had the Time and Space Treasure Pagoda to protect him, there was no need for him to covet the 8-Dragon Cauldron. Besides, he did not want to talk about the Time and Space Treasure Pagoda. Firstly, it would be showing off, and secondly, it would be a blow to others. After drinking, everyone chatted happily about some trivial matters. They had not met for a long time, and it was not the first time they chatted so casually. 13. I've already arranged for someone to send the medicinal pills you mentioned to Bamboo Garden Town. Aoi said to Night Sorrow. Some time ago, Night Sorrow asked Aoi to help him get some low-grade resources for Old Man Gu and Chen Chen. Aoi had already done it for him. It's no longer Bamboo Garden Town over there. It's now Bamboo Garden City. Gong Xian said with a smile. Night Sorrow nodded. He felt at ease. His original intention of venturing out into the world was to let the villagers of Bamboo Garden Village live a good life. Now, Bamboo Garden Village was getting better and better. It had already become Bamboo Garden City. This made him feel very gratified. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow brought the two girls back to the courtyard of the Bamboo Forest Peak. Although Night Sorrow did not live there much, the odd-job disciples of the Taishan Peak would come to clean the place every day. Thus, the place was always kept very clean. It feels good to be back here. Yang Lei opened her arms and said to the breeze. Back here, I feel like there's no pressure at all. It's just relaxing. Night Sorrow said with a smile. The three of them sat in front of the bamboo building and enjoyed the night breeze. Night Sorrow had not enjoyed such a comfortable feeling in a long time. Hee, there's no one else here. It's a world for the three of us. Yang Lei said with a smile. Ninth senior sister is full of bad intentions. Sikong Chuyu glanced at Yang Lei and said, This is relaxing. You can shout as loud as you want. No one can hear you. Yang Lei said with a smile. How loud can I shout? Ninth senior sister. Your voice is louder than mine, okay? Sikong Chuyu looked at Yang Lei and said, That's because I'm relaxed. I'll shout as long as I'm comfortable. Who cares? Yang Lei said nonchalantly. Night Sorrow stood up and pulled the two women into the bamboo building. The two women joked around for a while. Night Sorrow couldn't remain indifferent. Ninth senior sister. I remember you said that the turning moon gazing in the harmony technique was good. Do you want to try it now? Sikong Chuyu looked at Yang Lei and said, You're too naughty. Let's try it. We're not a couple for a day or two, Yonglei said, but her face still turned red. The three of them didn't stay idle that night. Night Sorrow's physical fitness was high. In addition, he had practiced the outer chapter of the Myriad Tao Tome. He had enough capital. The battle never stopped. Yonglei and Sikong Chuyu's physical fitness was strong. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to withstand it. However, the two of them also tried many consummate skills in the harmony technique. Even as Night Sorrow was enjoying himself, he couldn't help but sigh in amazement. The senior who had created the harmony technique was a genius. He could think of anything. Ninth senior sister. Luckily we cultivated our bodies. If we were ordinary women, Night Sorrow would have killed us. Sikong Chuyu was lying on the bed. His forehead was full of sparkling and translucent sweat. Chapter 548. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Night Sorrow felt helpless. The two girls were very open in front of him and dared to say anything. Love, go little say, Chew. After taking a bath, the three of them laid on the bed and rested for a while. After dawn, Night Sorrow woke up and began to cultivate his spear art. However, the two girls were still cultivating. Being together with Night Sorrow was very beneficial to them. While Night Sorrow was cultivating, Aoi went to the Medicine Valley's library to look for ancient books and then went to the Merit Hall to look for materials. After Night Sorrow cultivated for a while, the two girls came out. Although they had been busy for an entire night, their faces were rosy and slightly lazy. There was a different kind of beauty to them. You two are up. Why don't you sleep a little longer? Night Sorrow looked at the two girls and asked. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. We are cultivating the harmonization technique, which is beneficial to us. You should be fine, right? You should rest more. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and said, I'm fine. I don't have any problems. Night Sorrow said as he put away his reincarnation spear. The three of them didn't go anywhere today. They stayed at the bamboo forest peak to rest and cultivate. After staying at Taishan Peak for 3 days, Night Sorrow didn't go to Danding Cliff and directly left. Love, go little say, Chuaoi gave Night Sorrow 7 jars of wine. However, she told Night Sorrow that they could only be drunk after half a year. They were extremely effective Longyang wine. The three of them were about to leave. The others were reluctant, but they didn't ask them to stay. Everyone knew that Night Sorrow's world was outside and he had a certain foundation. He couldn't stay in the Medicine Valley. Gong Xian led the people from Taishan Peak to send off Night Sorrow and agreed to visit Dongxian City when they had the time. Only then did Night Sorrow and the other two leave on their mounts. Sikong Chuyu's Fire Phoenix was slightly slower. Sikong Chuyu put away his mount and rode on a Tianyu with Night Sorrow towards Danding City. After half an hour, Night Sorrow rode on Tianyu and Yonglei's dark-feathered eagle and arrived at Danding City's teleportation array. After bowing to the Golden Flame Palace, the three of them took the teleportation formation and teleported to Danding City. Then, they rode their mounts back to Tranquility Cottage. After returning to the Qingxin Cottage, Night Sorrow greeted the two girls and went into seclusion. He wanted to refine the Desolate Stone and strengthen his power of Desolates. The power of Desolates was definitely a method for the weak to defeat the strong. Night Sorrow had to cultivate it because there were too many people who wanted to kill him. He had to have some self-defense methods. Although the two girls wanted to accompany Night Sorrow, they knew that without strength, it would be very dangerous. Therefore, they could only support Night Sorrow. After entering the secret cultivation room, Night Sorrow first communicated with Shao Kong and used the time-space treasure pagoda to help him cultivate. Then, he held the Desolate Stone with both hands and started cultivating. As Night Sorrow touched the Desolate Stone with his power of Desolates, the energy in the Desolate Stone flowed through Night Sorrow's arm and into his body. Refining the power of Desolates in the Desolate Stone was much easier than refining the power of Desolates in the Great Desolate Pool back then. As he grew, Night Sorrow's state of mind continued to strengthen. He was also able to sit still. This time, Night Sorrow used half a month's time for his seclusion. The reason he stopped cultivating was because the Desolate Stone in Night Sorrow's hand no longer had any energy. It had already turned into a gray-white stone. After feeling it, Night Sorrow was very satisfied with his harvest in this half a month. His soul force and true chi had increased by quite a bit. In addition, the power of desolates had increased by more than 2 times. After stretching his waist, Knight Sorrow walked out of the secret cultivation room. He planned to take a stroll around before going back to cultivate. After leaving the secret cultivation room, Knight Sorrow saw the 2 girls sitting opposite each other and practicing carving. They did not notice Knight Sorrow's arrival. It could be seen that they were very focused. They only noticed Knight Sorrow after they finished carving. How is the effect? Knight Sorrow sat down and asked. It's almost done. Now that our soul force can cultivate on its own, we just need to consolidate it. Sikong Chuyu handed the jade carving in his hand to Yang Lei. Yang Lei also gave Sikong Chuyu one. This time, the 2 of them did not shatter the jade carvings. They both gave the jade carvings to Knight Sorrow. We will not practice carving in the future. Although we are not at the Grandmaster level, we are still at the Master level. Yang Lei said. Being able to cultivate on its own is enough. This proves that we have a foundation. How are the others? Knight Sorrow asked. They are all good. A few days ago, Xueling came and said that he was looking for you and wanted to give you some materials. Yang Lei said. Just as Yang Lei was speaking, Xueling came again and took out a pile of alchemy materials. Xueling, what are you doing? What kind of elixir do you want? Just tell me, Knight Sorrow said. I am not here to ask you to make elixirs. These are the materials we got before. Now that we have cultivation resources, Wuyo, I am giving them to you. Xueling said. Then I will continue to make elixirs. If you need any elixirs, come to me. Knight Sorrow understood the reason and did not refuse. Well, we have a manager. Xueling smiled and was about to leave. Knight Sorrow found a 7-leaf herb in the pile of materials. He took it out and asked Xueling, wait a minute. Where did you get this herb? I don't know. Maybe someone saw that it contained spiritual qi and collected it. I don't know who collected it, Xueling said. Take this herb and ask our brothers who collected it and where it was collected. I need this herb, said Yishang. Okay, I will ask. Xueling took the 7-leaf herb and left. Knight Sorrow, what kind of herb is that? Why do you care so much about it? Sikong Chuyu looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. It is the spirit black grass, one of the 3 most important materials for the dragon spirit elixir. If we can find its source and get the blue sparrow grass, we can make the dragon spirit elixir, Knight Sorrow said. What kind of elixir is the dragon spirit elixir? Sikong Chuyu asked. I know. It is a level 6 great heaven realm elixir. It is the elixir that can raise a venerable's cultivation by 1 level. I have never heard of anyone refining it, Yang Lei said. She was from the Medicine Valley, so she knew a lot about elixirs. An elixir that can raise a venerable's cultivation by 1 level? Isn't that too incredible? Sikong Chuyu was shocked when he heard Yang Lei's words. A level 4 profound meditation elixir that could raise a level 6 cultivator's cultivation by 1 level was very difficult to obtain. A level 5 void elixir that could raise a level 6 cultivator's cultivation by 1 level was extremely rare. It was already incredible that Knight Sorrow had the materials and could make the elixir. If the dragon spirit elixir was made, it would be indescribable. There are 3 main materials to make the dragon spirit elixir. One is the dragon blood of a venerable. The other 2 are the spirit black grass and the blue sparrow grass. That was the spirit black grass, Knight Sorrow said. A moment later, Xueling came over with a member of the god-slaying team. Your subordinate Bai Lin greets the captain, the young man with delicate features said. Do you remember where this herb was collected? Knight Sorrow asked. Chapter 549. Geniuses remember love in 1 second divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. Then let's go again and collect some of these herbs, Knight Sorrow said excitedly. Captain, you don't have to go. I'll bring them out for training and take care of this matter along the way, Xueling said. That's fine. You guys be careful, Knight Sorrow said. After that, Xueling left. He had discussed it with Ho Jian. After a period of cultivation, everyone could go out and use actual combat to improve their cultivation. Now that Yishang had given him instructions, he would take care of this matter. We have some idea of the spirit black grass. We're just missing the indigo sparrow grass. But where can we get it? Yang Lei asked anxiously. What's the rush? I can't refine it even if you give me the materials now. Level 6 pills can only be refined by an alchemy grandmaster. What are the basic requirements of an alchemy grandmaster? They have to have the cultivation of an honorable as the foundation. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You're right. I'm too anxious. The main thing is that this pill is too powerful. First of all, it's the dragon blood of an honorable. It's so difficult to get it. Yang Lei said as she rubbed her hands. Night Sorrow and Sikong Chuyu smiled. They knew Yang Lei's personality. She was straightforward. We have plenty of time. Besides, we have many channels. Ask the Dongxian City Governor's office. Tianji Tower has even more channels. Love, go little, say Wang. Chu Night Sorrow said. A pill for leveling up is much more precious than a pill for support. How much energy do we need to cultivate one level? If we don't have upper-grade spiritual stones, it'll probably take a few years. What about an honorable? The energy required is even more terrifying. Most importantly, this dragon spirit pill is not only a matter of energy. It saves a lot of time. Yang Lei explained the importance of the dragon spirit pill. In other words, this pill is extremely tempting to the Venerable One, Sikong Chuyu said. Yes, the dragon spirit pill is different from the profound tranquility pill and the void pill. In the past, one could advance quickly, and the time needed to advance to the next level was shorter, so it had the disadvantage of having a low control of energy. However, this is not the case for the Venerable One. The Venerable One has the power of the soul as a foundation. After eating the dragon spirit pill, the Venerable One can continuously strengthen his control. Using time to exchange for control is worth it. Yang Lei once again explained the power of the dragon spirit pill. Sikong Chuyu nodded at Night Sorrow. Then what's there to say? We have to refine it. We have to get the materials. $4 Yuyong 0 Geo QS free of charge to read $novel C. After chatting for a while and drinking a pot of tea, Night Sorrow went to meditate and cultivate. This time, Night Sorrow didn't intend to cultivate for a long time. He just wanted to consolidate the results of the previous half a month of hard work. For the next few days, Night Sorrow consolidated his cultivation base at night. During the day, he practiced his spear technique and his cultivation base. Night Sorrow's cultivation base improved very quickly. In the past, he could only control the energy around the reincarnation spear. Now he could control the energy within a radius of 1 zhang * 3. 33 m per zhang. It could be said that his cultivation base was already at the half-step Venerable Realm. The spatial restraints of Venerable Realm experts did not have much effect on him. Of course, this also referred to early Venerable Realm experts. High-level Venerable Realm experts could still suppress the energy they controlled. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu also took the same path to cultivate their cultivation base. As long as they had sufficient resources, it would not be a problem for them to cultivate their true qi to the peak of the void inquiry stage. The only thing that they could not keep up with was their cultivation base. After cultivating for 4 to 5 days, Night Sorrow felt that the results of the previous period had stabilized. He greeted the two ladies and went into seclusion again. He wanted to turn the desolate stones into the power of desolates that he could control. Other than that, he also needed to strengthen his innate bloodline power and activate the 5th innate bloodline power as soon as possible. After Night Sorrow went into seclusion, Wu Lingfei came to ask him about it. After knowing that Night Sorrow was in seclusion, she also went into seclusion. She had just entered the Saint Realm not long ago. Hence, it was the time for her strength to improve rapidly. In addition, she did not lack resources. She had top-grade crystals and life crystals. What she needed was time. During Night Sorrow's seclusion this time, he didn't only cultivate the power of desolates. At the same time, he also took out the black turtle crystal. Now that he had a foundation for the power of desolates, he was cultivating the myriad Tao text together with it. If it had been an ordinary cultivator with a bad temperament, they would have felt irritated if they cultivated like this. However, Yi Shang enjoyed the pleasure of increasing his cultivation base. This was the difference between having resources and not having resources. During this cultivation, Night Sorrow's power of desolates increased relatively slowly. After all, he was cultivating the myriad Tao text. This time, It took Night Sorrow more than 20 days to consume all the desolate stones. He still had some black turtle crystal left. This was the effect of the power of desolates refining things quickly. After stabilizing the power of desolates, Night Sorrow started to cultivate the Myriad Dao text at full speed. This was because the Myriad Dao text was not far from the peak of the level 3 Dao querying realm. This time, Yi Shang had spent an entire month in seclusion. The results of this cultivation were very impressive. Not only had he refined the second desolate stone, but he had also cultivated the Myriad Dao tome to the peak of the third level of the Dao querying realm. What made Night Sorrow regretful was that the improvement of his soul power was still lacking. It was not as fast as the improvement of his qi cultivation and the Myriad Dao text. However, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. This speed of cultivation was already very impressive. After exiting the secret cultivation room, Night Sorrow did not see Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu. He brewed tea and drank it to relax. Night Sorrow drank a pot of tea and practiced his spear skills. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu returned. The two of them had gone shopping while cultivating. They even brought back the battle robes that they had ordered for Night Sorrow a few days ago. After trying on the robes, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. This time, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu had ordered a loose-fitting robe for him. It was not the tight-fitting kind. When low-level cultivators battled, they competed with their battle techniques. They were all close combat. Therefore, they wore tight-fitting battle robes to look nimble. However, it was different for high-level cultivators. When high-level cultivators battled, they relied on their control of energy and comprehension of their realms. Therefore, there were no requirements for the battle robes. It was better for them to be comfortable. The loose-fitting battle robes made Night Sorrow look more mature and full of the aura of an expert. Shirsan, your cultivation base is already at the mid-6th grade Void Inquiry stage. The two of us have just entered the 5th grade Void Inquiry stage not long ago. The gap between us is getting bigger and bigger. Yang Lei said with some emotions. Only when I have the strength can I protect you better. It's fine as long as your cultivation base improves and you can have a longer lifespan. Only then can we be together forever. Night Sorrow said. We understand you. However, we also have our own goals. We don't want to be a decorative vase. We want to fight side by side with you. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and said. Night Sorrow nodded. He understood the two women's intentions. How's your cultivation of the power of desolation going? Yang Lei asked. I have already refined 2 of the 3 desolation stones. Once I finish refining all 3, the amount of desolation stones won't be small. However, it's still not enough to change the attributes of the energy in my body. I plan to strengthen a part of my body first. I plan to strengthen my left hand into the city desolation hand. Night Sorrow told them his thoughts. Chapter 550. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. I'm not in a hurry for now. Let me refine the 3 desolate stones first. Actually, I didn't tell you that refining the desolate stones not only increased the quantity of power of desolates, but also the quality of the power of desolates. I can even corrode stones now. Love, go little say, Kui Shan pointed at a stone sculpture that had already turned into sand and petrified not too far away from them. In other words, the flow of time has increased by a lot, Yang Lei said, looking at the stone sculpture. That's right. If you're hit by my palm without any defense, you'll definitely age by 200 to 300 years. If you have an energy shield, it'll be a different story, Night Sorrow said. Sikong Chuyu looked at Night Sorrow and said, although it's not 1,000 years in an instant, 200 or 300 years is still very scary. If you touch me a few more times, I'll die. Who has enough lifespan for you to torture me like this? After I refine the 3rd desolate stone, I will cultivate the Hand of Desolation, Night Sorrow said. Then are you going to go into seclusion again? Yang Lei said somewhat reluctantly. The Myriad Dao scripture that I cultivate needs to be upgraded. Other than that, I also need to increase my true qi cultivation base to the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage as soon as possible. Then, I can eat the Void Extreme Pill and raise my cultivation base to the 8th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Yi Shan spoke his thoughts. You're right, Yi Shan said. You're right. You're right. You're right. Although I want you to spend more time with us, I still support your decision. Only by being strong can we be together for a longer time and be safer. Yang Lei nodded at Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow got up and hugged Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu before going to the secret cultivation room to start cultivating. After entering the secret cultivation room, Night Sorrow took out the desolate stone and the black tortoise crystal and started cultivating. The Dao querying realm of the myriad Dao tome was to break through the barriers between the body and the body. How could this breakthrough not be huge? The main thing was that Night Sorrow had a good foundation and he had tasted all kinds of pain before. It could be said that after the bitter, the sweet was just beginning. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs. So on the third day of Night Sorrow's closed-door cultivation, Xueling and the others came back with a lot of black spirit grass. Knowing that Night Sorrow was in seclusion, Xueling gave the spirit grass to Yang Lei and went to reorganize the team. The time spent in seclusion was day and night. Now that Night Sorrow's cultivation was high and he had energy to replenish himself, he didn't have to worry about the nourishment his body needed. On the 9th day of his seclusion, Night Sorrow increased the cultivation level of the myriad Dao tome to the 4th level of the Dao querying realm. It made the energy of the myriad Dao tome much denser. At the same time, the strength of his body also increased. This was the effect of the increase in the toughness of his body. While stabilizing his cultivation level, Night Sorrow continued to refine the desolate stone. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs. The power of desolates was very domineering. However, it now belonged to Night Sorrow. Thus, it did not harm him at all. This time, Night Sorrow went into seclusion for a whole month. After completely refining the desolate stone, Night Sorrow came out of seclusion. As for the improvement of his soul power and true qi, even though it was slow, Night Sorrow could still feel the improvement. His true qi cultivation level was not far from the late 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage. As soon as Night Sorrow came out of the secret cultivation room, Tianyu and the Silver Fox ran to his side. The improvement speed of the two beasts' cultivation level was very terrifying. It was much faster than the improvement of cultivators. Currently, Tianyu had reached the 5th level of the Void Inquiry stage while the Silver Fox had also reached the 5th level of the Divine Severing realm. The relationship between the two beasts was very good. The main reason was that Tianyu was very generous. He was willing to play with the Silver Fox and could also endure the Silver Fox's torment. Seeing Night Sorrow come out, Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, who were cultivating the union of man and sword, also stopped their cultivation. Every time you go into seclusion, you will change your appearance. Now, the smoke of your essence qi is 40 zhang asterisk 3. 33 m per zhang. High. It's not far from reaching the clouds. Yang Lei said. It's still all right. Did everything go smoothly for you? Night Sorrow asked. It went smoothly. After my soul power can cultivate on its own, the improvement is obvious. The effect of using the soul crystal is very strong. Sikong Chuyu nodded. By the way, after you went into seclusion for a while, Xueling and the others came back and found the spirit Xian grass. It's all here. Yang Lei took out all the resources that Xueling brought back and placed them on the table. There are so many black spirit grass. It's probably the same as the dragon blood. All that's missing is the blue-green sparrow grass. Looking at the pile of black spirit grass, Night Sorrow was very satisfied. Latest square root, fast 5F, up 36 inch, that's good. Yang Lei nodded. Later, we'll go to Tianji Tower to post a mission. We have spirit stones, elixirs, and elixirs. We can afford to post a mission, Night Sorrow said. Haha, this is what it means to be rich and overbearing. Gua Xiao appeared in the courtyard. Chief Inspector Gua is here. Night Sorrow greeted the two women. Chief Tower Master is in seclusion. I don't trust anyone else with this treasure, so I brought it for you personally. Gua Xiao handed the jade box that contained the water attribute origin stone to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow took it and casually handed it to Sikong Chuyu. Sorry to trouble Chief Inspector Gua to come all the way here. Chief Inspector, please have a seat. Of course. We can't make any mistakes. Your cultivation has improved greatly. Gua Xiao sat down and said. At this time, Wu Lingfei, who was wearing a veil, appeared. She was usually in seclusion, but Guo Xiao's arrival woke her up from her meditation. Master Wu Kei. Guo Xiao stood up and cupped his hands. Let's not stand on ceremony. Have a seat. Wu Lingfei said as she sat down. By the way, Night Sorrow, you said you wanted to post a mission. Tell me what you need first. Let's see if Tianji Tower has it. Guo Xiao remembered what Night Sorrow said when he came in. I want to refine pills, but I lack the main ingredient, blue sparrowgrass. Night Sorrow stated his request. I've never heard of this before. I'll go back and take a look. If we don't have it, I'll post a mission for you. As for the reward, you can write a list and I'll bring it back, Guo Xiao said. Night Sorrow nodded at Xikong Chuyu, and Xikong Chuyu went back to take a brush and write. What's the situation at Tianji Tower's headquarters? Have those mad dogs from Qingtian City and the Jiyu family started biting people? Wu Lingfei asked. They've started biting people. They've had a few small conflicts with Tianji Tower, but they've stopped before going too far and didn't escalate the conflict. They know that Tianji Tower isn't afraid of war. If the Jiyu family fights to the death with us, they'll know that the most important thing is that Master Wu Kei can stop their saints. They won't be able to be arrogant, Guo Xiao said. The war will happen sooner or later. I hope Master Wu Kei can smoothly break through. Then, the strength of Tianji Tower will increase, Wu Lingfei said. Guo Xiao nodded. The significance of this matter was different. Lin Yuandao couldn't compare to Jiyu Haitian after entering the Saint Realm. But what if Wu Lingfei stopped Jiyu Haitian? Who could stop Lin Yuandao? Wouldn't it be a massacre for the other venerables? After thinking for a moment, Guo Xiao said, it should go smoothly. Chief K Master has been stuck at this bottleneck for a long time and hasn't had any opportunities. This time, Night Sorrow's treasure gave the sect master a chance to break through. That's good. Master Wu Kei is in seclusion. I can't keep you here for a while longer, Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 551. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with interesting novels to read. This was the current situation. The Qingtian region and the Eastern Xian region were like fire and water, because the Qingtian region suffered a great loss this time. Not only did they lose their #1 spiritual treasure, but they also lost their face. Love go little say, chew, so what? Not to mention the Eastern Xian region. Why don't they try entering the Taiyu region? As soon as they enter the Taiyu region, we will start fighting, Wu Lingfei said. The Qingtian region is indeed stronger. However, it's still not enough to fight against the Eastern Xian region and the Northern Sea region. The main thing is still the peak level. As long as we can withstand their attacks at the peak level, they won't be a match for us, Guo Xiao said. If there's anything, just inform us. Wu Lingfei nodded at Guo Xiao. After that, they sent Guo Xiao out of the Pure Heart courtyard. Yanglei, Chuyu, your cultivation bases have improved faster because you have the support of resources. However, one's cultivation base is very important. Even if you have reached the peak of the Void Inquiry stage, your cultivation base is still not enough. You still have to lie there and wait for your cultivation base to improve. Therefore you have to pay attention to your cultivation base, Wu Lingfei reminded Yang Lei and Xikong Chuyu. Thank you, Aunt Fei. Yang Lei and Xikong Chuyu both bowed. All right. Work hard in your cultivation. Wu Lingfei instructed them and went back to the tower to cultivate. She was also working hard to improve her cultivation base. The current turbulent situation also made her feel a sense of crisis. Night Sorrow did not need to go into seclusion for the time being. After having dinner with Yang Lei and Xikong Chuyu, he stayed in the courtyard to enjoy the night breeze while watching the two women cultivate their sword techniques. The two women were cultivating their sword techniques to improve their cultivation base. After the two women were done with their cultivation, the three of them went to rest together. Night Sorrow also cooperated with them in their cultivation. Night Sorrow's body had reached the Essence Chi Smoke realm. It was very beneficial to the two women who were cultivating the Harmony cultivation method. Early in the morning, Night Sorrow woke up early to practice his spear arts and cultivate his realm. He had reached the realm of one with the world, but it was still too low and he still needed to explore it. After practicing his spear art for a while, Night Sorrow went to check on the god-slaying team. After that, he went to the resting area for Yang Lei's disciples. He also gave Xiang Ding and Jiang Ziming some guidance in their cultivation before returning to his courtyard. When Night Sorrow came back, the two girls also washed up and followed Aunt Feng to lay out the breakfast. After eating breakfast, the two women continued to practice their swordsmanship and cultivate their realms. Night Sorrow thought for a moment before returning to the cultivation chamber. He attempted to use the power of Desolates to strengthen his left hand. He planned on changing his left hand's stats to the same as the Mystic Jade hand. To change his left hand, Night Sorrow first transferred the Mystic Jade spiritual energy from his left hand to his right hand. Then, he circulated the power of Desolates to strengthen the flesh and bones of his left hand. Night Sorrow's hands had been strengthened multiple times. The Myriad Tao Treasured Tome's energy strengthened and the Mystic Jade spiritual energy strengthened. Now, he was going to strengthen it for the third time. As the power of Desolates invaded his body, Night Sorrow's body started to tremble. Pain. It was extremely painful. It was even more painful than the previous strengthening sessions combined. Night Sorrow stretched his left hand to his lower abdomen and started to strengthen it. He had to endure the pain. After cultivating until night time, Night Sorrow walked out of the cultivation chamber. As he had endured an entire day of intense pain, Night Sorrow didn't look too good. 13. What's wrong? Why do you look so pale? Yang Lei asked with a frown when she saw Night Sorrow. I'm cultivating the hand of Desolates to strengthen my left hand. The pain is a little unbearable, Night Sorrow said. You're starting to cultivate? This doesn't conflict with the Mystic Jade hands that you cultivated in the past, right? Sikong Chuyu asked with concern. I transferred the Mystic Jade spiritual energy from my left hand to my right hand. This is also because my Myriad Tao Treasured Tome has leveled up. The strength of my right hand has increased. I can still endure the combination of two Mystic Jade spiritual energies. It was definitely impossible in the past, Night Sorrow said. Then, the Mystic Jade hands on your left hand is crippled? Yang Lei asked. There's no other way. I can't possibly cultivate the foot of Desolates, right? There are gains and losses. This is inevitable. Night Sorrow smiled and adjusted everyone's nervous mood. The loss is also a little big, Sikong Chuyu said. Actually, the Mystic Jade hands on my left hand isn't crippled. It can still be converted into energy. However, in the future, the power of Desolates will be the main force and the Mystic Jade hands will be the auxiliary force, Night Sorrow said. Your body can't be damaged by ordinary weapons now, right? Yang Lei asked. My body might be a little weaker. My hands can't be damaged by Tier 5 weapons, Night Sorrow nodded and said. A humanoid beast. Sikong Chuyu said with some emotion. After drinking tea and enjoying the night breeze and greeting the two girls, Night Sorrow entered the secret cultivation room and continued to cultivate the hand of Desolates. While cultivating the hand of Desolates, Night Sorrow did not stop cultivating his true chi and soul power. W/Yong/Joe% free 8. V read novels after cultivating day and night for 4 days. Night Sorrow's left hand to his shoulder, flesh, tendons, bones, and bone marrow were all strengthened to the point that they couldn't be strengthened any further. Night Sorrow stored the power of Desolates in the strengthened areas. When not using the power of Desolates, Night Sorrow's left hand could use the Mystic Jade hands and other martial arts. When needed, he could use the power of Desolates, which was a fatal move. In addition, Night Sorrow felt that his thoughts weren't perfect enough. In the past, he only wanted to cultivate the hand of Desolates and strengthen his left arm. However, in reality, Night Sorrow could use the power of Desolates to strengthen his entire body. It was just more convenient to use his left hand to attack. Night Sorrow, who planned to cultivate his body to perfection, used the power of Desolates to strengthen his body in the following days while cultivating his true chi, soul power, and realm. This was a huge, arduous, and painful process. Fortunately, Night Sorrow had endured too much pain to cultivate his body. He was already used to it and could still persevere. After Wu Lingfei came out from her seclusion and learned about Night Sorrow's cultivation direction, she was very supportive. She even experimented with Night Sorrow. She held a spirit weapon and attacked Night Sorrow's strengthened left arm. Night Sorrow had the Myriad Tao scripture protecting him. He could withstand the attack of Wu Lingfei, who was at the mid-void inquiry stage with her spirit weapon. In other words, as long as Night Sorrow defended himself with all his strength and stood still, A mid-5th grade opponent would not be able to break through his defense. However, it would consume a lot of energy from the myriad Tao scripture. If you continue cultivating this body, it will become a divine weapon. Wu Lingfei said with a sigh. I'm just using the power of desolates to strengthen my body. If all the energy in my body turns into power of desolates, I will be even stronger. Night Sorrow said. Some things can't be rushed. Perhaps the opportunity hasn't arrived yet. Your opportunity is enough. You also have to let others live, right? Wu Lingfei said with a smile. I'll use the power of desolates to strengthen my entire body first. We'll talk about the rest later. Aunt Fei, is everything going well for you? Night Sorrow asked. Everything is going well. Don't worry. Aunt Fei will be able to handle it if anything happens. Wu Lingfei nodded at Night Sorrow. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow continued to use the power of desolates to strengthen his body. After using the power of desolates to strengthen his body, Night Sorrow's body reached the level where Huang Wudao cultivated the heavenly desolate sword body. Chapter 552. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with interesting novels to read. When Huang Wudao subdued the power of desolates, his true qi had the attribute of the power of desolates. He was using qi to refine his body, unlike Night Sorrow who had a separate energy in his body and a separate cultivation system. After knowing that his train of thought was correct, Night Sorrow treated this process as his primary task. The other cultivation was secondary. Of course, he would still cultivate his spear technique during the day and improve his cultivation base. As his comprehension deepened, the range of energy that Night Sorrow could control became larger and larger. Currently, it was already more than 6 zhang *3. 33 m per zhang, wide. He could be considered to have entered the initial stage of the oneness of heaven and man. However, Night Sorrow was not satisfied. He still continued to cultivate. As the spiritual power of Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu increased, they also had a better understanding of the oneness of man and sword. Time slipped away bit by bit. Night Sorrow's great task of strengthening his body was also nearing its end. When Night Sorrow used the power of desolates to strengthen his entire body, 1.5 months had already passed. During this period, his cultivation base was already close to the peak of the void inquiry stage. Other than that, Night Sorrow had also successfully cultivated the 7-star Brilliant Moon Spear technique. He had truly achieved the oneness of 7 spears and could now display a spear technique called the Brilliant Moon Spear technique. According to Wu Lingfei, Night Sorrow could only achieve this after reaching the late void inquiry stage. The main reason why he could achieve this in advance was because of Night Sorrow's solid foundation. Other than that, his meridians were wide and his strength was great, which had unknowingly increased the explosive power of his true qi. This allowed Night Sorrow's strength to increase tremendously even though his cultivation base had yet to advance. After Night Sorrow's body had been strengthened by the power of desolates, his attacks carried the power of time when he defended against attacks. In other words, when an attack came close to Night Sorrow's body, the energy of the attack would be depleted and the power of the attack would decrease. After completing the strengthening of his body with the power of desolates, Night Sorrow heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, he was looking forward to the future. Once he absorbed enough power of desolates, he would be able to convert the energy of the myriad Tao treasured tome into power of desolates. Then, his achievements in body tempering would surpass Huang Wudao's desolate sword physique. After practicing his spear art once again, Night Sorrow remembered something. When he was in the Great Desolation City, Hu Shao had given him 3 ice-attributed crystals. He could use them to strengthen the mysterious jade spirit qi and store it in his hands. This way, when he needed it, he could switch between the mysterious jade hands and the hand of desolation. Night Sorrow and the others were cultivating in seclusion. The world outside was changing rapidly. The people of the Qingtian domain had gathered in Donghua City, the coastal city of the Qingtian domain, to confront the Taiwei domain. Similarly, the people of the Eastern Xian domain and the Northern Sea domain had gathered in West Sea City. The people in charge of these people were the guardian elder Kuan Nan of Dongxian City, the deputy city lord of North Sea City, Hai Wuzhen of the Northern Sea domain, and Hua Haining of the Tianji Tower. It could be said that as long as the saints of the Qingtian domain didn't make a move, there was no possibility of taking down West Sea City. Ji Haitian would make a move? How would he dare to casually make a move? If he did, Wu Lingfei would make a move, and the result would very likely be the destruction of the Ji family. The price of Wu Lingfei's reckless actions was the Eastern Xian domain suffering, but that was only the power around her. However, the Ji family was Ji Haitian's family. They were his descendants. How would he dare to act rashly? After Night Sorrow finished cultivating again, Wu Lingfei came out of seclusion. Aunt Fei, you've come out of seclusion. It seems that the results are very good, said Night Sorrow when he saw Wu Lingfei's smiling face. I successfully broke through a level, said Wu Lingfei. So fast? Even the void inquiry stage cultivators like us can't break through so fast, right? Night Sorrow said in astonishment. There's only one chance like this. It's because before I broke through, I accumulated a lot of energy and stored it in the space within my body. After I broke through, it quickly transformed into my own cultivation base, said Wu Lingfei. That's great. With Aunt Fei's increase in cultivation base, the threat to Ji Haitian and the Qingtian domain will become even greater. Night Sorrow said with a smile. You don't have to worry. Ji Haitian has some concerns. At most, he will arrange a battle between venerables. At most, he will mobilize the forces of the subordinate territories of the three origin domain, and then join forces with the forces of the other regions to attack. So what? With the alliance of our Eastern Xian domain and the North Sea domain and the support of the Tianji Tower, it's impossible for them to win. Wu Lingfei said. At this moment, Ho Jian came and told them about the news he had found out and the current situation. The only original version of QP, whose KZ and his M are all L pirated by J, both sides are guarding the cities in Lin Hai. If the teleportation formation is closed, does it mean that they have cut off communication? Night Sorrow asked. Wu Lingfei shook her head. I don't think the teleportation formation will be closed. It's useless to send a few people through it. Besides, closing the teleportation formation will make people feel disgusted and scared. Both sides won't do that. Could it be that they don't dare to fight because they are all bark and no bite? Sikong Chuyu, who came with Yang Lei, said. It's hard to tell whether they will fight or not. Qingtian domain has lost its reputation. It's the same as slapping their face. They still have to put up a front. You guys don't have to worry about it. Just focus on your cultivation, said Wu Lingfei. As long as Auntie Fei is strong, Eastern Xian domain and Taiwei domain will be safe, said Night Sorrow. But Auntie Fei is still restrained. If you want to enter Qingtian domain and fight, you have to rely on venerables. If an invincible venerable appears, the situation will be different. They can directly crush Ji family's forces. The saints have saints watching over them. Ji Haitian won't dare to act recklessly, said Wu Lingfei. But I can't do anything. Night Sorrow said helplessly. He wanted to, but he didn't have the strength. The time he spent cultivating was too short. The gap between him and the veteran experts was too big. Why are you in such a hurry? Do you think the domain war will end in a day or two? It won't be strange if it lasts for decades, said Wu Lingfei. Then I'm relieved. As long as I work hard, I will still have the chance to contribute to Eastern Xian domain. Night Sorrow nodded, but he was still anxious. How is your realm now? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. I can control the energy in a 2-meter radius around me. There's still a possibility of improvement, said Night Sorrow. Not bad. This is the elementary realm of unity of heaven and man. In other words, your realm is now half-step venerable. Wu Lingfei nodded with satisfaction. Once my soul power reaches the liquid state, I'll be able to increase my cultivation level even faster, Yishan said. You mean the liquefaction of your soul power? How long will it take? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow with surprise. According to the current progress, my soul power will reach the liquid state in about 3 months, said Night Sorrow as he sensed his spirit see. After 3 months, you'll be able to liquefy your soul power. I'm impressed. I was only able to liquefy my soul power after becoming a mid-level venerable. You're not even a venerable yet, but you've already reached this level. It's simply unimaginable. Since your soul power is so strong, you should continue to increase your cultivation. There's still a lot of room for you to increase your cultivation. After recovering from her shock, Wu Lingfei immediately set a cultivation path for Yishang. Chapter 553. Genius 1 second. Remember Love Go divided by Xiao? Net provides you with wonderful novels to read. The realm and soul power you can improve now is something that other cultivators find difficult to improve. Or rather, it's impossible to improve. What you lack is a stable cultivation base. You don't have to worry about that. Wu Lingfei said. Night Sorrow, I didn't expect your soul power foundation to be so good. Sikong Chuyu said. She and Yang Lei were also very surprised. Human cultivators and demon beasts existed in the form of a soul and body. Now, Night Sorrow's body was ridiculously strong and his soul power foundation was incomparably solid. It could be said that what he lacked was time. What he lacked was time to improve his cultivation base. The space-time pagoda can provide energy to cultivate soul power and improve chi cultivation base. That's why my soul power can improve faster. Night Sorrow said. Now that I know you're cultivating in the right direction, Aunt Fei doesn't have to worry. Don't just cultivate all day. Find some time to go out and see the beauty of the outside world. You're still young. Don't act like an old man. Your world shouldn't only be about cultivation. Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and said. Wu Lingfei saw Night Sorrow's attitude and effort towards cultivation, so she was a little worried and distressed. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs.com. Aside from cultivating, he doesn't know anything else. Yishang, tell me, how long has it been since you left this mansion? Yang Lei asked. You two just watch him. Wu Lingfei said with a smile. After eating lunch with Night Sorrow and the others, Wu Lingfei returned to the observation tower. Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu dragged Night Sorrow out. They didn't want Night Sorrow to cultivate too hard. The two girls went shopping while Night Sorrow followed behind. Seeing the two girls happy, Night Sorrow was also happy. At the same time, he felt apologetic because he didn't fulfill the responsibility of a man. Baidu search AI Go female sign Xiao, say www.aichuxs.com. 13. Why aren't you saying anything? Yang Lei turned around and looked at Night Sorrow. Ninth senior sister, Chuyu, I'm sorry. I've been cultivating so hard that I neglected your feelings. Night Sorrow said with some embarrassment. DZ looked at the chapters of the D. Don't say that. You're working hard now to build a foundation for our future. Yang Lei said as she pulled on Yishang's arm. She wasn't a teenage girl. She knew what she should know and understood what Yishang was thinking. Auntie Fei is right. My world shouldn't just be about cultivation. I've neglected too many things, and they are very important things. Night Sorrow took a deep breath and said, We don't want you to cultivate too hard. It's fine as long as you work hard. Sikong Chuyu said. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. The three of them walked around the streets. Night Sorrow bought a few more dresses for the two girls before finding a tavern to sit down. What day is it today? I want to drink, and someone comes with good wine? Night Sorrow had just entered the tavern when he heard people talking. It was Blacksmith Uncle, Sister Luo and Brotherin. Hee, Blacksmith Uncle, Sister Luo and Brotherin are all here? Night Sorrow brought Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu to greet the three. Kid, there are some things that I need to make clear to you. We are sworn siblings. You can call me Brother Blacksmith from now on. Blacksmith Uncle said to Night Sorrow. It's Night Sorrow's fault. I'll punish myself with a bowl later. Night Sorrow took out 2 jars of wine and placed them on the table. Kid, your cultivation is rising rapidly. Drinking to celebrate is only natural. Blacksmith Uncle said with a smile. The sky-piercing spear that Brother Blacksmith gave me is very useful. I don't want to say anything else. Come drink. Night Sorrow opened the jar and poured wine for Blacksmith Uncle and the others. Blacksmith Uncle and the others didn't hesitate and directly drank with Night Sorrow's group. Night Sorrow knew that Blacksmith Uncle and the others were experts from the assassination hall. However, he didn't think that was important. What was important was that they were all forthright friends. After drinking 2 jars of wine, Night Sorrow's group left the tavern. Night Sorrow, these 3 are all experts. I wonder what their cultivation bases are. Sikong Chuyu asked. They are all at the peak of the void inquiry stage. If they don't try to assassinate venerated realm experts, They won't have any problems. Night Sorrow was at the peak of the 6th level of the Void Inquiry stage. Thus, he could tell the cultivation bases of the three of them. After leaving the tavern, Sikong Chuyu wanted to buy some tea. When they were still some distance away from the tea house, a tea stall appeared by the roadside. Sikong Chuyu found a good item at the stall. It was the spirit-calming tea. It was a good tea that could clear one's mind and calm one's mind. Sikong Chuyu directly bought all the tea. The three of them were lucky. This vendor had just started to set up his stall and no one had come over yet. Sikong Chuyu only used 10 middle-grade spirit stones to buy the tea. Spirit-calming tea is a rare item. It's a rare wild tea. Sikong Chuyu said after leaving the stall. It's a good item that can calm one's mind. Night Sorrow said. After that, the three of them returned to the Pure Heart building. Yang Lei went to instruct the disciples in their cultivation, while Night Sorrow went to watch the members of the God-slaying squad cultivate. The members of the God-slaying squad were practicing their combat techniques. The practice was very intense. Everyone's cultivation bases were similar. Hence they could fight with their full strength. The effect of the training was also very real. When Night Sorrow arrived, everyone bowed to greet him. Captain, do you want battle armor? A few days ago, the City Lord Mansion sent a batch of battle armor to us. Nan Liu said to Night Sorrow. I don't need it. Is there enough for everyone? Night Sorrow touched the golden phoenix shoulder guard on his shoulder and said. After everyone gets one set, there are still 10 sets left. The quality of the armor is even better than the original armor of the blood-robed guards. Nan Liu said. That's good. Defense is very important. If it's good, it can save lives at critical times. Night Sorrow said. After chatting with everyone for a while, Night Sorrow asked about the resources. After knowing that Nan Liu had enough resources, he nodded. Then, Night Sorrow thought for a while and left behind another 100 high-grade spirit stones. Captain, what are you doing? Keep it. You need it too. Nan Liu said. We all have elixir resources and spirit stones. Captain, you can take them back. Ho Jian said. The others also asked Night Sorrow to keep them. Night Sorrow nodded with satisfaction. This was the God-slaying squad. Everyone was not selfish. However, he did not plan to take back the spirit stones. Liu, distribute these spirit stones later. Everyone needs to have some hard currency. This way, it won't be a problem if they want to exchange for the resources they need. As for me, you don't have to worry. Yi Shan said to Nan Liu. Looking at Night Sorrow, Nan Liu nodded. Then I will thank Captain on behalf of my brothers. We are all brothers. No need to be so polite. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Chapter 554. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We will provide you with interesting novels to read. Everyone is doing what the leader told us to do. Every morning, we will practice carving. In the afternoon, we will practice actual combat. Ho Jian said. The cultivation of soul power is the most important thing. It's fine as long as you know what to do. Night Sorrow returned to his backyard after giving his instructions. Is their cultivation going well? Yang Lei asked. It's going well. If you have nothing to do, you should go and have a look. We will be fighting side by side in the future. It's good to be familiar with each other. Night Sorrow said. After chatting with the two ladies for a while, Night Sorrow began to practice his spear technique. His cultivation base had already reached the peak of the 6th grade Void Inquiry stage. It was indeed possible for him to break through. However, Night Sorrow planned to consolidate his cultivation base for a while. Having a solid foundation would only bring him benefits. At night, Yi Shang accompanied the two girls to practice the harmony cultivation method and then went to sleep. He also needed to ease his tense mood. As for absorbing the ice attribute crystal stones, he could postpone it. In any case, he wasn't in a hurry. On the second day, when Night Sorrow was practicing his spear technique, someone came to his mansion. It was Ling Long. Your cultivation base is improving really fast. You will catch up with me very soon. Ling Long greeted Night Sorrow when she saw him. Senior sister Ling Long, you're back. Did everything go well over there? Night Sorrow kept his spear and asked after pouring a cup of water from the teapot. Baidu search, AI Go female sign Xiao, say, www.aichuxs.com. It went well, but it still needs time. After all, the safety of the base is the most important thing. Unless we don't build a base, Tianji Tower will become an unbreakable fortress once it is built. Ling Long said. It's fine as long as it went well. Since you're back, just stay for a few more days. Night Sorrow said. I'm just going there for a visit. It's none of my business. The headquarters has also sent an elder. No matter what, there will be someone in charge. Ling Long said. After chatting with Ling Long for a while, Night Sorrow continued to practice his spear technique. Love, go little, say, W. Chu. After watching Night Sorrow cultivate, Exquisite also left. Night Sorrow's rapid increase in strength gave her a lot of pressure. After cultivating for a while, Night Sorrow played with Tianyu and Silver Fox. Forever J exempt. Pay to read E_novel. And recently, Silver Fox had leveled up again, reaching level 6 of the spirit severing stage. Tianyu's level was high, so he needed a lot of energy to level up, so he hadn't leveled up yet. After that, Night Sorrow brought the two girls out to the streets. Now, the three of them went out to the streets purely to look for fun. They did not lack spirit stones or medicinal pills. After 2 days of relaxing, Night Sorrow was about to enter seclusion. He wanted to increase his true chi cultivation to the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage, and then refine the ice attribute crystals. The two women watched as Yi Shang entered the secret cultivation room and started cultivating as well. They knew that it was already very rare for Night Sorrow to accompany them for the past few days. They could not delay Night Sorrow's cultivation. After entering the secret cultivation room and stabilizing his emotions, Night Sorrow began to level up and condense the 7th layer of true chi light. A few days ago, Night Sorrow could already level up. However, he had been consolidating his cultivation base. Since he had accumulated enough, Night Sorrow did not face any difficulty in leveling up. However, compared to the past, it was still relatively slow. After all, the amount and speed of his true chi were very different from before. After spending 1.5 days, Night Sorrow successfully condensed the 7th layer of true chi light. His cultivation base had also officially advanced to the 7th level of the Void Inquiry stage, the late Void Inquiry stage. After opening his eyes and exhaling a mouthful of turbid chi, Night Sorrow took out the ice attribute crystals. While absorbing the ice attribute power to strengthen the spiritual chi of the profound jade, he also stabilized his cultivation base that had just leveled up. While stabilizing his cultivation base and absorbing the ice attribute spiritual chi, Night Sorrow communicated with Shao Kong. Instead of absorbing the true chi, he only absorbed the spiritual chi. Night Sorrow used 10 days to completely absorb the power of the ice attribute crystal. At the same time, he also completely stabilized his cultivation base. This time, the speed of refining the crystal was fast. The main reason was that the grade of the ice attribute crystals was not as high as the grade of the desolate stones. Thus, it was relatively easier to refine them. After sensing the spiritual chi of the profound jade in his hands, Night Sorrow did not get up. Instead, he continued to refine the 2nd ice attribute spirit stone while cultivating his spiritual chi. After refining the 2 ice attribute crystals, Night Sorrow's profound jade spiritual chi grew a little stronger. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow decided to refine all the ice attribute crystals in one go and forget about it in the future. It took 10 days to refine 1 ice attribute crystal. Night Sorrow used 1 month to refine 3 ice attribute crystals. At the same time, his true chi was also very stable. What made Night Sorrow regretful was that although his bloodline talent had been improving, there was still no sign of the 5th bloodline talent. Night Sorrow resisted the idea of eating the void pill to continue improving his cultivation base. He stood up and left the secret cultivation room. He did not want Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu to worry about him. In addition, he needed to stabilize his cultivation base before eating the Supreme Mystery Pill. Night Sorrow came out of the secret cultivation room early in the morning. After taking a bath, Night Sorrow went to the martial arts practice field and began to cultivate the mysterious jade hands. After Night Sorrow struck out a few palms, the pool next to the martial arts practice field was frozen, and the green trees were also frozen. If you don't use the power of desolates to kill the trees, You will freeze them to death. Do you not want your garden anymore? Wu Lingfei appeared in the martial arts practice field and waved her hand. A green energy appeared and revived the trees. Aunt Fei is here. Knight Sorrow smiled embarrassedly. When he was cultivating, he forgot about some things. The power of your mysterious jade hands is still improving. If you have more ice attribute crystals, you can really cultivate the frozen space. However, there is no need for you to work hard on this. Wu Lingfei said. Why? Knight Sorrow asked in confusion. You have the void attribute, space attribute and the power of desolates. Is there a need to cultivate ordinary attributes? It's fine as long as you can master them and use them when you need them. Wu Lingfei said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow nodded. He understood what Wu Lingfei meant. She wanted him to focus on other attributes. You can't neglect the essentials. A person's energy is limited. You must put your limited energy where it is most needed and most valuable. For example, you have the power of desolates to support your attacks. It is much stronger than the mysterious jade hands. Wu Lingfei said. I understand what Aunt Fei means. Knight Sorrow understood the reason behind it. 7th level Void Inquiry Stage. You are getting closer and closer to the Venerable Realm. Wu Lingfei sighed with emotion. When she first met Knight Sorrow was still a young man at the 3rd level of the Void Inquiry Stage. Now, however, he was already a young man at the late Void Inquiry Stage. I will work hard to stabilize my cultivation base and relax. After that, I will go and eat the Void Creation Pill. Knight Sorrow told her about his plan. All right. Now, Aunt Fei is going to the West Sea City of the Taiyu region to take a look at the situation there. Do you want to go with me? It can be considered as relaxing. Wu Lingfei looked at Knight Sorrow and asked. All right. Then I will go with Aunt Fei to broaden my horizons. Knight Sorrow nodded. He was very curious about the situation in the Taiyu region. All right. Tell Yang Lei, Sikong Chuyu and Sikong Chuyu about it. Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 555. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? I'll provide you with some wonderful novels to read. This was Wu Lingfei's worry, but it wasn't unreasonable. If Ji and Hai Tian were to shamelessly attack, then the Eastern Xian region and Northern Sea region would suffer heavy losses. Currently, the elites of the two regions were stationed in West Sea City. If there was a problem, then the two regions would suffer heavy losses. In order to make sure nothing went wrong, Wu Lingfei planned to go there. Then again, cultivating anywhere was the same. If she cultivated there, she would be able to deal with any unexpected situations. Knight Sorrow informed Yang Lei and Sikong Chuyu, as well as Xueling and Ho Jian, before riding the Tianyu to Tianji Tower with Wu Lingfei, who was riding the silver-winged Eagle King. The two masked men arrived at an inconspicuous courtyard behind the Celestial Terminus Tower. Wu Lingfei pulled Knight Sorrow through the courtyard a few times before arriving at the pavilion behind the courtyard. Entering the pavilion, Knight Sorrow discovered a teleportation formation. Greetings Lord K and Lord Heaven's Fate Emissary. The black-clothed old man guarding the teleportation formation bowed. Teleport. The destination is the Taiyue region. Wu Lingfei said. Then Wu Lingfei led Knight Sorrow through the teleportation formation. After teleporting 4 times, they arrived at a canyon outside West Sea City in the Taiyue region. The canyon was filled with arrays, concealing everything very well. After exiting the teleportation formation, the two rode their mounts to the Western Sea region near the Realm Sea. That was where the Eastern Xian region, Northern Sea region, and Tianji Tower were stationed. Seeing Wu Lingfei arrive, Hua Haining brought the elders of the Tianji Tower, Kuan Nan brought the upper echelons of the Eastern Xian region, and Hai Wuzhen brought the upper echelons of the Northern Sea region to greet her. Wu Lingfei was the strongest in this camp, so everyone on this side knew that she was the most powerful. In addition, Wu Lingfei was the leader of the Eastern Xian region and the number 2 person of the Tianji Tower. Hai Wuzhen had also received instructions from Tai Shu Yen, so he knew how to face Wu Lingfei. Everyone, cultivate as you should. We can afford to fight, but we can also afford to waste time. Make the necessary arrangements and prepare sufficient resources. Also, you have to know that if their saints don't make a move, I won't make a move either, said Wu Lingfei. If they don't send out saints, we can hold on. Hua Haining, Kuan Nan, and Hai Wuzhen nodded. G/G/G Qi Nan. Gather the rest of the Bloodstrike Guards, except for the 5th squad. Arrange them near the teleportation formation. When the battle starts, send the Bloodstrike Guards to the center of the Qingtian domain and slaughter GU's forces directly, said Wu Lingfei. This subordinate understands. Qin Nan bowed and went to make arrangements. Hua Haining and Hai Wuzhen also said their goodbyes and went to do as Wu Lingfei said. It wasn't convenient for Wu Lingfei to order them around, but they knew what to do. Wu Lingfei's strategy was very sharp and ruthless. After the battle started, the Eastern Xian region and the Northern Sea region would be able to hold off the other side. At the same time, the other forces would start a slaughter in the center of the Qingtian domain. This would be a very fatal blow to the Qingtian domain. With the internal instability, fighting outside was no different from suicide. After that, Wu Lingfei brought Night Sorrow to a mountain peak some distance away from the campsite. It was a stone peak with beautiful scenery and lush green pines. It's fine. We'll just cultivate here for a while, said Wu Lingfei to Night Sorrow. Okay. Aunt Fei should feel more at ease with this under her nose, said Night Sorrow. The defense here is very strong. As long as the saints don't make a move, the defense here will be very stable. Without a saint, even if a battle breaks out, the two of us can just watch, said Wu Lingfei. Then I'll eat a void pill and cultivate later, said Night Sorrow. All right. Just focus on your cultivation. Wu Lingfei nodded. After resting and cultivating for 2 days, Night Sorrow greeted Wu Lingfei and went into seclusion in the tent. He had consumed a void pill to increase his cultivation base. In the past, Night Sorrow could quickly convert the medicinal power into his cultivation base after consuming a pill that could raise his cultivation base by 1 level. However, it was impossible now. The amount of energy needed to raise his cultivation base by 1 level was enormous. Even if he had sufficient energy to refine the medicinal power, it would still take a long time. After consuming the void pill, Night Sorrow began to absorb energy day and night to improve his cultivation base. Wu Lingfei was also using top-grade spirit stones to cultivate. She also had to make the best use of the time to improve her cultivation base. The days passed by very smoothly. Night Sorrow's cultivation base improved rapidly. Early Void Inquiry Stage, Mid-Void Inquiry Stage, Late Void Inquiry Stage. In half a month, Night Sorrow's cultivation base had reached the peak of the Void Inquiry Stage. After absorbing the medicinal power of the Void Pill, Night Sorrow also came out of seclusion. Night Sorrow was very satisfied with the result of using half a month's time to improve his cultivation base. From now on, you can't advance your cultivation base at will. You must stabilize your cultivation base and increase the degree of control. Advancing recklessly will bring about disadvantages in the future. If the disadvantages of an unstable foundation flare up, it will be fatal. Wu Lingfei said to Night Sorrow. Don't worry, Aunt Fei. I understand. Night Sorrow nodded. Aunt Fei knows that you are not a reckless person. Wu Lingfei nodded at Night Sorrow. In the following days, Night Sorrow held the Black Turtle Spirit Crystal and cultivated the Myriad Tao text. At the same time, he used the Time and Space Pagoda to help him cultivate his soul power and innate bloodline power. As for his true qi, it was slowly stabilizing. Seeing Night Sorrow working hard in his cultivation every day, not even needing time to rest, Wu Lingfei admired him very much. When she was Night Sorrow's age, she did not have Night Sorrow's willpower. She cultivated whenever she wanted without feeling irritated at all. A month after Wu Lingfei and Night Sorrow arrived in West Sea City, Lin Yuandao and Guo Xiao came. Senior brother Lin, congratulations on entering the Saint Realm. Wu Lingfei cupped her hands when she saw Lin Yuandao. She saw that Lin Yuandao had successfully entered the Saint Realm. This is all thanks to Night Sorrow's treasure. Junior sister Wu's cultivation base has improved again. This is really worthy of celebration. Lin Yuandao was very surprised to see Wu Lingfei's cultivation base increase. He had entered the Saint Realm, so he naturally knew how much energy a saint needed to advance. He also knew how difficult it was. But now, Wu Lingfei had entered the 2-star Saint Realm. I was lucky to advance. Senior brother Lin smoothly broke through. This is very good news for us. Wu Lingfei said. Although I didn't advance with a high-grade attribute, I am still very satisfied to be able to control an extreme attribute. Lin Yuandao said. Senior brother Lin, you have to be careful. Stay with junior sister during this period. Be careful not to be sneak attacked by that shameless Ji Haitian. Senior brother Lin has just entered the Saint Realm, so he still needs to stabilize his cultivation base. Wu Lingfei said. Wu Lingfei was not worried. If Ji Haitian knew that a new saint had appeared in Tianji Tower, he would very likely eliminate him and solve the unstable factor. Although Lin Yuandao had entered the Saint Realm, he was definitely not a match for Ji Haitian. He was not comparable to Wu Lingfei, who had entered the Saint Realm with a high-grade attribute. Chapter 556. Genius remembers love in 1 second/small? We provide you with interesting novels to read. After Night Sorrow came out and congratulated Lin Yuandao, he hesitated for a while before speaking. Lord K. Master, a venerable realm expert with the time attribute, will have very strong combat power. What's his name? That guy's name is Ji Yu Hao. He has been cultivating for much longer than you. It's good that you know him. If you meet him, just avoid him. He's too dangerous. Peak 7th grade Void Inquiry Stage. Night Sorrow, your cultivation speed is too fast. Which cultivator didn't use decades, centuries or even centuries to reach the late Void Inquiry Stage? Looking at Night Sorrow, Lin Yuandao said with mixed emotions. It's just that I have more resources and my cultivation is smoother. Night Sorrow said. He did not expect that Ji Yu Hao's name would appear again. The two of them were destined to meet again. The grudges between them could not be resolved. It's just that I have more resources and my cultivation is smoother. Night Sorrow said. It's not about that. This is not a matter of having sufficient resources. You can't cultivate like this from now on. You need to be steady, you must be steady. You can't take any more void pills. It's fine even if you waste a few years or decades. We can afford to wait, and you can afford to consume them, Lin Yuandao said. K-most, new you Supra. Senior brother Lin, it's not as serious as you said. Night Sorrow's foundation is very stable. His cultivation base is also at the half-step venerable realm. As long as his cultivation base improves, there shouldn't be any problem for him to enter the venerable realm. Wu Lingfei said. His cultivation base is also high enough? Lin Yuandao looked at Night Sorrow with surprise. Aunt Fei said that I can continue to improve. Night Sorrow said. Good. That's great. Now that Lord Wu Kei has entered the venerable realm, our Tianji Tower lacks powerful venerable realm experts. After you enter the venerable realm, work hard and cultivate for some time. You will definitely be able to shoulder this responsibility. Lin Yuandao said. This is really something that makes me feel good. Guo also nodded happily. Don't worry. Night Sorrow won't disappoint you. Also, pay more attention to the missions that Night Sorrow gave you. Those are the resources he needs to rise up, Wu Lingfei said. Desolate stones can only be found in the desolate sea in the realm of unbounded desolation. Desolate stones can only be found in the desolate sea in the realm of unbounded desolation. No one has ever entered the desolate sea. We all know how much luck is required to find them. Furthermore, according to ancient records, blue sky sparrowgrass can only be found in the Cyan Sparrow Mountain Range. It's hard to say whether it can be found in the Cyan Sparrow Mountain Range or not. The Tianji Tower's unlimited missions are still very attractive to adventurers, Guo said. If it was a resource that everyone needed, the Tianji Tower would have a backup. However, the barren stone and the blue-green sparrowgrass were useless treasures. Love, go little say, Ku, take your time. We'll get it eventually, Lin Yuandao said. Chief Tower Master Wu, you two stay here and cultivate. I have to go back to the headquarters and stay there. No one can stay there. Guo cupped his hands at Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei. Then, he nodded at Night Sorrow and left the mountain peak. While Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei chatted, Night Sorrow went to a place farther away to practice his spear arts and improve his cultivation base. Lin Yuandao noticed Night Sorrow's cultivation base. Even though he knew that Night Sorrow had reached a certain level, he was still shocked. Junior Marshal Sister Wu, I've discussed with the law enforcement elder and the guardian elder some time ago. We plan to appoint Knight Sorrow as the young master after he enters the venerable stage, Lin Yuandao said. No, it's not fair to Ling Long. Besides, Knight Sorrow doesn't care about this. He's also the deputy valley master of the Medicine Valley. What does he care about? Wu Lingfei shook her head. She knew Knight Sorrow well and knew that Knight Sorrow didn't care about power. Junior Marshal Sister Wu, you're wrong to think that way. The Tower Master and Young Master of Tianji Tower can grasp the general direction. Don't the elders, supervisors, and guardians deal with some specific matters? I like Knight Sorrow's indifferent character. As for Linglong, she's very outstanding, but she's still a far cry from Knight Sorrow in terms of wisdom and tenacity, Lin Yuandao said. Senior Marshal Brother Lin may be right, but Knight Sorrow has too many personal matters. If he doesn't solve them well, it's easy to drag Tianji Tower down with him, Wu Lingfei said. Is it that serious? What's going on? How can it drag Tianji Tower down with him? Lin Yuandao asked curiously. He's a descendant of the Night Moon dynasty. According to the degree of bloodline, he's very likely to be a direct descendant. Do you think he can bear such a huge grudge against the Night Moon dynasty? Wu Lingfei said. But Junior Marshal Sister Wu, have you thought about it? Even if he's not the young master, can we just watch him fight alone and watch him take risks alone? Is Tianji Tower still the Tianji Tower in our hearts? Tianji Tower is people-oriented. Unity comes first, Lin Yuandao said. That's why this is a very tangled problem. It's not appropriate for Tianji Tower to take revenge for him. Knight Sorrow doesn't want this either. Hopefully, Night Moon Dynasty still has potential power. If Knight Sorrow fights, they'll be able to stand up for him, Wu Lingfei said. My thoughts won't change. If my decision causes Tianji Tower to suffer, then I'll take the blame. If my decision is right, then Knight Sorrow will lead Tianji Tower to rise, and I'll be the hero of Tianji Tower. Lin Yuandao looked at Wu Lingfei and shook his head. He wasn't convinced by Wu Lingfei. Senior Marshal Brother, you're right about Knight Sorrow. Give Knight Sorrow time, and his achievements will far surpass us. It can be said that he'll reach a height that we can't imagine. Besides, he's not someone who doesn't know his limits. When has he ever caused trouble for others? Just like the matter between him and Sikong Chuyu. As long as he asks, with his identity as a heaven's emissary, Tianji Tower will have to step in, right? But he's never mentioned the matter of resources. Has he ever deliberately taken advantage of Tianji Tower? Wu Lingfei said. This is the charm of a person. He's always adhered to the principle of having no desires. Deep in his soul, he's noble and proud. There are many things that he disdains to do. This is also the reason why I insist. If I don't insist, will Junior Marshal Sister not help him when he's in trouble? That's the truth. There's no need to stick to formalities, Lin Yuandao said with a smile. This is also the charm of Senior Marshal Brother. If it weren't for my trust in Senior Marshal Brother, I wouldn't have stayed in Eastern Xian Domain without hesitation, Wu Lingfei said with a smile. In the following days, Knight Sorrow cultivated as if there was no one else around. He cultivated his spear art, his supreme talent spatial splitter, the hand of desolation, and the profound ice hand. Seeing Knight Sorrow display one supreme skill after another, Lin Yuandao went from being shocked to being calm. He recalled Wu Lingfei's words. He hadn't misjudged Knight Sorrow. In addition, Lin Yuandao also understood that Knight Sorrow was a person with great fortune. Knight Sorrow improved his cultivation and combat ability during the day, and cultivated his foundation at night. Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao watched Knight Sorrow cultivate and felt that there was nothing that needed pointers. Half a month after Lin Yuandao's arrival, the Sky-Bearing region launched a probing attack. It was the Vice City Lord of Sky-Bearing City who went out to challenge him. On the Eastern Xian Domain and Northern Sea region side, Hai Wuzhen went out to meet them. The two sides were evenly matched. The Sky-Bearing region's fleet didn't come out. When they saw the densely packed group of venerables standing at the edge of the Realm Sea, they knew that they weren't a match. They probably couldn't even injure each other, so they retreated. Chapter 557. Genius 1 second. Remember love divided by go divided by little? We provide you with wonderful novels to read. If Qingtian region retreats, they won't continue to be on alert after receiving the news. It looks like Qingtian region doesn't plan to stop the war. Love, go little say. Chu Wu Lingfei looked at the camp on the edge of the realm sea and said, the current situation isn't about how many venerables Qingtian region has been killed and the Shentian Tower has been lost. If Qingtian region can't effectively attack Dongxian and the North Sea domain, then they'll lose their title as the top region of the 9 regions and their fortune, said Lin Yuandao. Then don't even think about it. We know how many invincible venerables there are in the Qingtian region. Those 2 won't necessarily come out to fight. Yu Fenglan seems to be half dead at the moment. Unless they join forces with other regions, we don't know if there are any bastards colluding with them. Wu Lingfei said. If junior sister Wu hadn't entered the Sage Realm, then Qingtian region might have been able to use the banner of the Sage Realm to find allies. But now, this move is useless, said Lin Yuandao. Whatever, we'll cultivate here and wait to see what happens. If we really can't hold on, then we'll start killing. We'll do whatever we want. Wu Lingfei wasn't a sloppy person. When it was time to kill, she wouldn't hesitate. We should leave that guy alive. If he dares to come over, we'll kill him. He'll be scared after a few times. Night Sorrow said what he had been holding back. That's not very appropriate. He said he's coming to challenge us one-on-one, said Wu Lingfei. Not everyone's words are the rules. They're already fighting. How passive would it be to listen to their rules? Both sides are enemies. Then we'll do whatever is beneficial to us. That's in line with the interests of the battlefield, said Night Sorrow. Brilliant. What they proposed is beneficial to us. That guy didn't win. If he did, then he must have a backup plan. Junior Sister Wu, you should go and explain it. They're indeed a little inflexible. It should be us who are inflexible. War is war. Do whatever is helpful to victory. That's the most reasonable thing, said Lin Yuandao after some contemplation. G's only and Y's and 6B original version, he's all F and you steal N version. This was a mistake and a blind spot. The older generation cultivators and famous cultivators cherished their reputation. For example, they didn't fight today, mainly because they didn't want to be infamous. But in reality, all actions in war were for the sake of victory. Sticking to the formalities would result in a loss. Wu Lingfei flashed to the front of the camp and gathered all the high-ranking personnel. Then, she gave them instructions. The main idea was to focus on winning the war and not to be led by the nose by the enemy. After that, Wu Lingfei returned to the mountain peak. At this moment, Night Sorrow and Lin Yuandao were drinking on the mountain peak. Concubine Fei, come, let's drink together. Yishang took out a bowl of wine and poured some for Wu Lingfei. I'm just talking nonsense. Master K and Auntie Fei, please don't mind, Night Sorrow said. Of course I don't mind. This is good wine. Give me another jar. Lin Yuandao was very happy. He felt that Night Sorrow's appearance was an opportunity for Tianji Tower. He believed in his own vision. After drinking, Night Sorrow continued to cultivate. Now, he mainly cultivated the myriad Das Tome and soul power. Qi was the foundation. Once the foundation was complete, he could advance. Night Sorrow cultivated. Wu Lingfei and Lin Yuandao also began to meditate. On this day, after Night Sorrow finished cultivating his spear art, Guoxiao came and brought something good for Night Sorrow. It was blue-green sparrow grass. The price was Tianji Tower's life spirit fluid. What made Night Sorrow a little dumbfounded was that Guoxiao had brought more than 200 blue-green sparrow grass. According to the mission, he had to pay 200 drops of life spirit fluid. This price was too high. Why are you dumbfounded? Guoxiao looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Night Sorrow rubbed his forehead and said, So many herbs. The price I have to pay is a little heavy. So that's the problem. Do you think I'm stupid, or do you think the people of Tianji Tower are stupid? Our mission is to get 20 blue-green sparrow grass. The price is 1 drop of life spirit fluid for each blue-green sparrow grass, or 10 high-grade spirit stones. If you exceed this limit, then you don't need it. If you want it, you'll buy it at a low price. So, these blue-green sparrow grass are 20 drops of life spirit fluid and 200 high-grade spirit stones. It's that simple. Is this price okay? Guo Xiao said with a smile. That's great. That's great. Chief Inspector Guo scared me just now. If I really need 200 drops of life spirit fluid, I'll have to find a place where no one is around and cry. Night Sorrow said self-deprecatingly. Then, he gave the jade bottle containing 20 drops of life spirit fluid and 2 top-level spirit stones to Guo Xiao. He was too lazy to take out a pile of high-grade spirit stones. Guo Xiao said to Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei with a smile. He took out the top-level spirit stones without batting an eyelid. Our celestial emissary has a deep family background. Wu Lingfei said with some emotion, his family background is really deep. As a concubine, I'm all thanks to him. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the chance to enter the Saint Realm. Lin Yuandao said, isn't it the same for me? Otherwise, how could I have had the chance? It's too difficult to comprehend the rules. Guo Xiao sighed and said, Chief Tower Master and Master Wu are lucky. Night Sorrow has a water attribute source stone, while Elder Li and I have a fire attribute source stone. I don't know when we'll have a chance. Guo Xiao sighed and said, this was indeed a matter of opportunity. It had nothing to do with the status of Chief Tower Master and Chief Inspector. It was all about luck. Actually, Chief Inspector Guo's opportunity has also arrived. Night Sorrow thought for a while and felt that he couldn't use the fire attribute source stone for the time being. He could lend it to Tianji Tower. After making the decision, Night Sorrow took out the box containing the fire attribute source stone and handed it to Guo Xiao. Wu Lingfei had known for a long time that Night Sorrow had a fire attribute source stone, but she didn't want to get involved in this matter because it was Night Sorrow's opportunity and resources. Night Sorrow could make all the decisions. Whoever Night Sorrow gave it to would have their opportunity. This opportunity and incense could only be given to others by Night Sorrow. It was not something that Wu Lingfei could decide. Just now when Guo Xiao said that he had a fire attribute, Wu Lingfei had a hunch that Night Sorrow would take it out. I don't know where my opportunity is. What is this? Guo Xiao held the box and asked Lin Yuandao and Wu Lingfei. How would I know? Lin Yuandao said with a smile. You'll know when you open it, Wu Lingfei said. Of course, she couldn't show that she knew. It wasn't appropriate. Then let's see what Night Sorrow took out. Guo Xiao smiled at Night Sorrow and opened the box. You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.